Step one, wake up, really gonna rise in the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, grow hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Life ain't easy, yo. I think that there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm there breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. I know that I like to do.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube.
I'm sorry, it does that. Hold on, I gotta change all these over. Yeah, I'm seeing that, plant lady. We have some audio issues, and I know what it is. As I started it, with Mac, I don't know why it does this. I think it's only with MacBook Pro, but if you don't start in the right audio setting, no sound now. I don't have sound. Oh, jeez. Hold on. Let's see here. It says I have sound. Do you guys hear me or no? Let me see something here. Can you... Oh, okay. You guys can't hear me. Okay. Just making sure. But it's like silent now. Okay. Well, what would I do? I don't know what to do. We have some issues here. We're going to probably have to play with the audio, and I know what it is. It's the system. Because I've had my computer off the dock, and I was working on it elsewhere, and I put it in to go live. I had to do my research, and I did not realize that my sound box was, I don't like Bluetooth, okay? That's just, my issue is the Bluetooth. So I have it ran in through USB, but it likes to default back to Bluetooth. So while we were in the middle of music, I ended up changing a setting, and then all of a sudden, boom, we start having echoing and all this other stuff. So we fixed that. I have a funny feeling I'm gonna have a problem on my, so we'll have to work with the first video I show when I put my, when we do this one here. We're gonna pretty much start right out. I mean, we've got a couple things here. We're going to be basically covering a story, a quick story that I think everybody needs to know about because it's freaky. It has to do with you basically losing someone to brain, a brain death type of thing. They lose oxygen, they have brain. Well, law enforcement, medical professionals want you to think that any involuntary movement is just their muscle spasming. And I never for the life of me understood why they say that, because one of my friends, I stayed there with her, she had perfect condition, perfect skin, and I wasn't family, I've seen somebody that has been on life support that is gone. I've seen their skin color, I've seen their face, and I kept saying, she doesn't look like my cousin did, I kept saying that, and they took her anyways. They took her off life support and let her expire, and it's always bothered me. And and there was, she wasn't married, and her kids were all adults. So when you have a situation like that and you don't have a healthcare surrogate, you're at the mercy of the hospital. And if you're a organ donor, you are nothing but a cash pile to that hospital. You guys have got to really start getting out of your illusions here. This is not conspiracy theories, even though I know they want you to believe it is, okay? We're going to be defying a lot of stuff that's going on in this country because I'm sick of the lies. Here is one of those lies, and I know that this might hit a little close to home for some of you, like it does me, because I've been in a situation where I thought it was wrong. What the hospital was doing was wrong. And, you know what? It may end up having to come down to that, and it's sad. It's sad, but when we quit trusting our medical organizations. I'm going to let you guys listen to this. We'll take a few minutes because we got a lot of stuff to go over. As you guys can imagine, there's a lot of breaking news in Charlie Kirk's case. We got Fat and Opinionated. I just like that guy. I really do. I hope if Fat and Opinionated is watching, one day I want to meet you. I want to give you a big old Fat and Opinionated hug. I just, I love his just candor. I do. There's just some people that have better communication skills than Bullhorn Betty, okay? I just tell it like it is. I don't care whether you listen. I don't care if you agree. It just is what it is, right? And sometimes I take away, some stuff from it, but I don't know. I like... I like him. I don't even know his name. Mob Crew, we found his name, Chris. I like Chris too. But there's just something about Fat and Opinionated that just, I don't know, it just draws me to the man, okay? It just draws me to the man. So we'll get to him here shortly, but you guys got to see this, okay? And I'm going to prepare you. This is going to be hard, okay? It's going to be hard. It got to me enough to put it on my show for you, okay? I'll tell you this. It's scary. It's scary. I'm just going to forewarn you, this is scary. Machete! I know what you meant. We love you too. Oh, I can't hear crap. Okay, hopefully, is it?
The 27th, we made the decision as a family to remove him from life support because, you know, he was brain dead.
Because of that...
Hold on, you guys got to hear it from the beginning. Is it echoing, by the way? If it's echoing, let me know now so I can make some adjustments.
...in cardiac arrest and was deemed code blue.
We were told TJ had no reflexes.
How are we doing on sound? Sound check. Sound check 1, 2, 3. Was it, could you guys hear? No, sound is good. Yes, thank you. Thank you for trigger warning. We don't do a lot of trigger warnings on here, but this one's going to get to you because I'm telling you, it was nerve-wracking for me. It was very, very, very nerve-wracking for me. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this, and we'll have a short discussion about it as we get on.
No responses, no brain waves, no brain activity. And we were told that the 26th, the 27th, 28th, and 29th. And the 27th, we made the decision as a family
well, happy
to remove
birthday,
him from
Belinda.
life support because, you know, he was brain dead.
Because of that declaration, they decided to honor TJ's wishes as an organ donor.
We had his honor walk, but almost as soon as his honor walk started, his eyes started opening, and not just opening, he was tracking around looking to see, you know, what was going on. And we were told that was just reflexes, just a normal instinct. He's not there.
But that wasn't the case. In fact, he wasn't dead. He was very much alive.
It's a matter of life and death. You know, it's more than frustration. I feel like they were trying to choose my brother. They were going to sacrifice my brother's life to save how many ever other people.
Donna didn't know about any of this until the beginning of this year, when Nicoletta Martin, a surgical preservation coordinator, contacted her. She was on first call for Kentucky Organ Donor Affiliates, or CODA, and was on her way to the OR to take over care. That's when she received a horrifying phone call.
He was then thrashing around, crying, trying to pull his tube out. He was pushing everybody's hands away that were trying to prep and drape him for surgery. And it's kind of crazy, but the doctors decided we're absolutely not going to do this case.
Like the family, do you guys understand this? The family's saying something's not right, something's not right. And they're like, well, it's just reflexes, We're still going to go ahead and take his organs out. It's just reflexes. So they're in there. They're suiting up. He's literally pushing their hands away. And they're still ready to take his organs. Okay? Trying to cite that this is just normal. Okay? I want you to understand normal body movements. I'm telling you all this because this is not the first time I have been in the hospital, me personally, and did not believe the people were gone, yet they took them off life support. They didn't give them a fighting chance because it costs the hospital monies to keep them on the life support, and it makes the hospitals a shitload of money for your organs. Harvesting those organs. Harvesting the organs. Every time we try to do, as a human being, try to do something right by other people, it is always taken advantage of. And if it wasn't for this family, and it wasn't for those doctors, this man would be deceased at the hands of those very doctors that said they were going to save his life. Why? Over money. You want to know why I don't like that? Guys, here's my receipts. Does this happen a lot? I have to think it's got to happen more than we would like to know. More than we would like to know. Because this is not the first time I heard somebody say, oh, that's an involuntary movement. No, it's not.
We're absolutely not going to do this case. The CODA coordinator that was on site that day actually called CODA's admin for some guidance and was told, you will find another surgeon or you'll lose your job because we're going to complete this case.
She said nobody, not even TJ himself, could believe what was happening.
TJ has a lot of short-term memory problems, but TJ knows what happened. TJ says, why me? Why did they want my organs? And TJ feels guilt still about, he did not die so that people could get his organs to save their lives. That's horrific to me. Nobody should ever be put in that position. That's not what this mission is about.
An unlikely bond. Now, both Donna and Nicoletta are demanding answers.
When TJ woke up, why was he then sedated and paralyzed instead of taken back to the ICU immediately to have a repeat neural exam? Why was TJ's life not honored and he treated like a patient.
Network for Hope did release a statement to us regarding this case. They said, quote, "While we cannot discuss specific case details, we are concerned by the way this case has been misrepresented. We regularly review our..."
Misrepresented? The man was alive, and you were telling the frickin' surgeons you're going to lose your job if you don't take the organs. I don't think that you can mischaracterize that very much. I mean, call me stupid. Many people do, but nothing to see over here, folks.
Internal practices and remain committed to fulfilling our mission of saving lives through donation while respecting and caring for donors and their families, as well as prioritizing patient safety, end quote.
The more that comes out, it's still shocking for me, and I'm living it.
It's shocking for me, baby. It's shocking for me. That's why you were on the Bullhorn Betty channel, because stuff like this needs to get out. So I hope and I pray that my beautiful people here clip this and start passing it around, because people need to know about this, because this could be you next. I am an organ donor, you know, and it's making me literally question, you know, do I really want to be an organ donor? You know, or is somebody gonna go, we know I'm already controversial, right? And we know we got some really evil people in our, you know, medical field. We've seen that in full display over the last few days. I don't know. They might find out I'm a Trump supporter and an advocate for conservative causes, and they might be like, yeah, that's involuntary movement. I'll be there screaming, and they'd be putting tape over my mouth saying, no, she's involuntary. She's involuntary. Her mouth moves no matter what. Oh, good gracious. I could be smacking them. They'd be like, no, she's got to go. She's got to go. We finally got her down. Take the tongue first. We know some of you guys honestly actually believe that the world would be a better place if I was tongueless, okay? No, it wouldn't, because I'd be on the mic going... Don't you guys rather me actually make some sense? I bet you guys would still understand me. I really do. Bullhorn Betty's walking in like, hey... Actually, you don't even need an attorney. There is a form online you can print down for free. You can talk to your family. I mean, and actually, I think young people need to be doing this. You shouldn't wait until you're older, because you never know what's going to happen in your life. And you don't want to be that day late and a dollar short person, right? So my suggestion is to everybody in here, if you do not have a simple will, if you do not have a healthcare surrogate, if you do not have something that you've talked to your family about, and especially if you're young, just because you are young doesn't mean you making it to old age, okay? So I think everybody, if you don't have these things and you're like, well, I don't have money for an attorney, okay, well, do you have a computer and a printer? Because that's really all you need. It doesn't need to be filed in court. All you need is to have the originals. Something may need to be notarized. Go down to your local FedEx store, spend the $10, get the document notarized, and tell your family where it is, or give it to your family member that you are going before, that you want them to handle your stuff, you know, has your best interest, knows what you want if something ever did happen to you, and you need to be talking about that. You shouldn't be enjoying your golden years and then having to be depressed on, you know, thinking about what comes next. You should be doing that long before you get to your golden years. You should have a plan long before you are even retired. And for you folks, don't worry if you didn't plan. The good news is today's a new day. Go print off some stuff. We just saw a 31-year-old man lose his life, okay? No matter how old or young you are, you need to be telling your family what you would want, right? So make sure somebody knows what your wishes are. And you want to make sure the person that you tell those wishes will carry your wishes out. should anything happen. Again, I'm an organ donor, but I'd like to be dead before they harvest my organs. Just saying, okay? So that's really my only request. If anybody doesn't know what my wishes are, I would prefer a burial expense, but you know, the burials right now are very, very expensive. I'm perfectly fine being cremated. If I'm cremated, I'd like to be turned into something and put out in the ecosystem to help another family of some sort, right? And I'm an organ donor, but I want to live. If you guys don't know, I'm just saying, I want to live. You know, I want to donate once I'm gone, but I want to be really gone. Okay, not half gone. I don't want to be flopping. I don't want to be flopping on the table. Okay. I know I like my steak, you know, mooing a little bit, but I don't like my organs. Okay. All right. I should say that kind of came out wrong. I don't like my organs mooing. I'm just saying. I want them dead. I'm just saying. Dead. Okay, we're getting on with it. All right, in good old Bullhorn Betty fashion, we are going to be talking about the Sebastian Rogers case. And this is something from Lauren from Facebook. You guys know, I just think she's all about the info. She's all about getting it right. She wants to help us understand what happened to Sebastian. And I really, you guys are still laughing. I know, right? I just want to be dead, okay? Just make sure whatever doctor I get, that they know I want to be dead before we start going for the extractions, okay? I know there's some people that like to get my toenails, but, you know, you can have them if you want to, but you're just going to wait until I'm dead, okay? I don't want to be in jail for the rest of my life. I'm just saying. Okay. So Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, many of you guys know, you guys came to my channel, my chat. Oh, hey, Karen, it's nice to see you, love. Mama Bear, I'm sorry for not saying hi to everybody. Hi, guys. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I don't know how many of you guys that were in church with us this week. It was a great message. It was, you know, a hard message. It's learning and growing. And we're going to get into that because we're going to be talking about Charlie, and I've got to try to, speak my truth and give you guys some factual information about what we know and what we don't know. And then I've got to, kind of get your bleeding heart working a little bit. So we're going to be high and low. We're going to be high and low today. I don't know if any of you guys are going to be crying or not. So if you guys haven't, get some tissue just to be on the safe side. I'm all about preparation. Get yourself comfortable. If you need your little poochie there, get your little poochie there. I probably will need, my poochie here, when we start getting into some stuff. Yeah, it was a really good message. It was a really good message. You guys haven't been over to Countryside Christian Church. We also have Turkey Man here. Actually, I don't even think my world's been spinning. To say the least. So I'll get Turkey Man's service up here in just a little bit. But we have when we at places in our lives, we should be going to church all the time. But when we're at places in our lives where we have crossroads, the place I go and lean on the most is my faith. Even when my faith is shaking, that's it. Get your Delilah's ready. There you go. Even when my faith is shaking, there's something about being in church that just kind of it inspires you, relieves you, and kind of gives you direction. And very strong in my faith, very strong in my convictions, very strong in the message that I put out this morning. And we're going to be coming from a place of love, but that doesn't mean we have to come from a place of bowing down, laying down. We can come from a place of love and still be very, very strong in our convictions, and that's what this channel is going to do. Anyways, getting on to Sebastian's case. He's 15 years old when he disappeared on February 26, 2024. You guys got that right, 2024. It has been well over 18 months. We're going to be doing an event at his 2-year milestone. For those, and I haven't gotten any flyers in. We're having a contest right now. We're giving away a deception deck. We're giving away the deception deck for anybody that would like to participate. Oops, I just did something with my audio mixer. Hold on here. Let me get my audio mixer sit right. And so we're going to be doing that from February 23rd to February 27th. And we want the most people to be there, obviously, on February 26th. Aw. Well, thank you for being here, Sarah. You got to connect. Your son's got a connection with our case. It's got a connection. Oh, and I wrote down, that's what I was looking for. I forgot. Happy birthday, Melinda. And I saw Robin in here saying, hey, you got to say happy birthday to me. I didn't even know it was your birthday either. So happy birthday to Belinda. Happy birthday to Robin. If I have some time a little bit later, I'll put on my birthday hat and sing you a little tune. Sing you a little tune. My brundle, right? Next Sunday, Lil Shirley, happy birthday to you. So all the birthdays this week, I will be singing you guys a happy birthday. Remind me. If not, then we'll catch it on the next live. But I'll try to remember it. I don't even know where my hat is. I had a hat. I don't know what I did with it. Usually it's like right in my face, and it's not right in my face. So I'm not going to go search for it right at this moment. But I'm getting older this month too. So I'll be singing happy birthday to myself too. Oh, which reminds me. Karen, the real me too, thank you for my lovely birthday gift, which was a coffee cup, and I've been drinking out of it all morning, and I ended up putting it in the sink, so I don't even have it to show you guys, but I love I love the cup. Thank you. All right, so what had happened is Sebastian went into his home. There's a whole ordeal about all the stuff they did the Sunday before he went to bed. And by Monday morning, 6 a.m., his mother goes in to wake him up, and she says he wasn't in his bed. Well, back at the very beginning of this case, we kind of knew the story didn't make sense, but we didn't know how bad it was off. And it's like every time the Proudfoots open their mouth, their story never matches. It's always off. It's never consistent. Never, ever, ever consistent. And now I think that this video right here with these security cameras, I honestly believe that this is something that law enforcement is trying to distract us from. But even if it's not, it might be something, but not what we think it is. And I also want you to notice, you see the lights, you see the lights here? Remember in the photo that law enforcement gave us, the light was way up here that they showed because it was above these lights here. As you see in this image right here, here is the garage lights. These are below the garage, not above the garage. These are below the garage. This is in the common area. This is not floating above the house and headlights. There's no way they would be down this low. It's just not. But we're not going to get into that. What we're going to get into is the true timeline that I think Lauren on Facebook brilliantly laid out. And we're going to listen to it because I told her, I wrote and said, this is powerful. This is powerful. I think it breaks that whole thing up with Chris Proudfoot. I really do. The point of him getting his, you know what? We keep talking about the camper he got and the 17 hours he was gone. We know that the 17 hours he disappeared was Wednesday night. So why wasn't his camper in his driveway on Thursday? Can someone tell me that? He got in this petty fight with Seth to kick him out of the house. That day he left, and he was back Thursday before 6 by the time he was standing in the road for Miss Bobby. Law enforcement never gated, whatever. Yeah, I get what you mean. From never negated the vehicle on Stafford and Kellen. They never even acknowledged that there's one there. But clearly, even the video, you'll see. This is a very, very powerful video, and it's from Lauren on Facebook, and that's her title on X, on the X platform. So if you guys are into Sebastian's case and you have not subbed up Lauren from Facebook yet on X, you're going to want to do that. You're missing out on some really thought-provoking content that makes you think and makes you really start processing the information we know as true and fact about the case. After this, we're going to be getting on with our updates on Charlie Kirk.
Now, I communicated with Chris Proudfoot.
Now let me take this off because you guys are going to need to read.
Via voice on Facebook. And we spent a good 20 minutes or so going over what this was, because he knows exactly where this is.
Chris understands that the grainy light, well, that helped Gray Hughes draw up. So he gave, it sounds like he gave something to him, explaining exactly why something is nothing.
Let's pull open the video.
So Chris gave him the video.
The video right here. You can see it. So you see right over here on the right-hand part of the screen right there?
Oddly, Gray keeps babbling on about the trash truck in the distance, never mentions the car, the 3 a.m. car right in front of his nose.
This is a fixed light on that house. These are two lights up on a street that's behind the Proudfoots, on a house that's sort of up on a hill. And then this light right over here that's moving is actually...
I had no earthly idea that Chris is the one that got the video from the neighbors and released this section of the video to Gray Hughes. That was pretty interesting. That was pretty interesting.
A garbage truck on a hill up in the distance. When I was talking to Chris Proudfoot, there's a retention pond right here now, apparently. And they checked that pond, but it wasn't very deep.
No deeper than my knees.
Interesting statement.
And what he did say to me is they've been talking about that if he had backtracked and got lost, he could have walked all the way up into here.
Chris points out a wooded area northwest of his house.
I personally feel he got picked up in a car and they headed westbound on Long Haul Pike.
Wow.
And westbound goes to I-65.
I mean, look at... If you just go the wrong way in some of these places here.
He said Ellie has told us that Sebastian is most likely dead and that we need to search northwest.
Northwest.
Yes.
That woods area gets so dense, and it's not just the density of it, it's these like thorn, pricker, like bush type things. So you can't send the canines back.
I have been through those things so many times. I remember people used to laugh at me because I would be out there and I'd be getting those thorns in my face, scratching my face, my arms, and we would crawl in it. Now, I just want to remind you, because this is an allegedly, we call them a UPI, unscrupulous PI right here. And as you see, SARS on his shirt, and he's unable to get back there with the pricky stuff. Don't worry. Hold my beer. Hold my beer. Let me go swimming in the vines, okay? Done it before. It's why I needed a machete. I go out there with the tools needed to get the job done. I don't complain about the task. Just saying.
They're gonna just cut themselves up.
He's got a stubborn mindset. He believes it's this.
If they're not used to running with goggles, which most aren't, then you got their eyes.
Oh my gosh, I just thought of something.
And the strangest part about this was this guy was wearing...
We got to go back just a little bit. The arms. Remember me telling you those look like... What did I tell you? Holy crap. And we're sitting here now, and I don't know why I didn't think about this when I thought of it, but it just hit me, and it was because I saw the scratches. I told you guys, how many times have you guys have been with me from the beginning of this case? Raise your hand if I told you that those scratches look like what I look like when I come out of the bushes. Because the stuff has all of those briar bushes. They have all the things, and I told you guys, I've seen arms like that, but it wasn't from a dog. It was from the briars being out there searching for people. I told you, how many times, do you guys remember me ever? I said that multiple times through this case, especially in the beginning. Raise your hand if you guys remember me saying that. Yep. And everybody kept trying to convince us it was teeth mark. This was when we were all having the conversations about the teeth. So go back to my conversations about the teeth. I said it again and again that I didn't think this. This looks like somewhere, the bruising and everything is a pattern that it seems like he was dragging something out into the woods. And now we're finding out that patch of woods back there, now remember, was still the same area that the truck was seen at 3 a.m. That the FBI is acknowledging there's a truck on that one road, right? Coming up over the hill. That's what the new statements from these lights are. And now we're finding out that there's a whole bunch of briars back there, that Chris needed to disappear for 17 to 24 hours. He's been pointing us up to the northwest side of that area, and we didn't believe him because we said whatever area he's pointing us to, go in the opposite area. And I think he wanted us to find Sebastian out in those woods so they could play dumb. And we didn't, because nobody checked those. They couldn't get out there. I'd be crawling on all fours to get where I needed to go if I had to do that. Trust me, I did it for Layla Santinello. We got it on tape. Like, I went through a hole this big to go get a freaking suitcase that I could have potentially had her in it. I scratched myself all up, got all types of muddy on that trip, searching. You didn't see me say, oh my gosh, there's briars and pricky things there. No, I got my ass, I climbed a freaking mountain to get a hold of this suitcase. That's what I did. What did you do? Just saying. Just saying. SARS ops. One for freaking social media again. But look at that. Now, I'm telling you, Lauren might be onto something here, y'all. Let's listen to this. We'll go back to UPI. God, I can't stand his freaking face.
We need to search northwest.
Northwest.
Yes.
That woods area gets so dense, and it's not just the density of it, it's these like thorn, pricker, like bush type things. So you can't send the canines back there because they're gonna just cut themselves up.
He's got a stubborn.
All those scratches all over his arms. I told you. I even said briars.
If they're not used to running with goggles, which most aren't, you got their eyes.
Nothing. And the strangest part about this was this guy was wearing dark black, wide, like ski goggles.
That woods area gets so dense.
I sat there. It was one single flashlight, and it was like walking in the back, kind of over in the back of the woods area, and it like.
She's trying to say I did something nefarious in that 17 hours that it takes to allegedly drive from here, go get my trailer, pack it up, and then drive all the way back here. That it took me 17 hours and I would have had to have done something with Sebastian. That's what she's...
Right.
I brought it home. Because at one point I was out of a job.
Right, and we're also coming into the time of year when campgrounds fill up like crazy, so if you don't pay, you don't get to stay. Otherwise, it becomes a big problem.
Always about the excuses. Never asking them, just assuming.
When you've been at my house the first 3 damn days.
That Thursday night. Now, mind you, our neighborhood is on pins and needles.
So Thursday 29th.
Let me go back a little bit and say, the night before this is the reason why this happened. The night before this.
Between the time Seth left and Bobby saw him the next night is when he supposedly left. But remember, Chlamydia had that 3-3 or 3-4 video that clearly showed his camper wasn't back
One
home.
single flashlight, and it was like walking in the back, kind of over in the back of the woods area, and it like walked around, stopped, walked around a little bit, stopped, and then just disappeared in the back.
This is interesting, y'all. It was just hours before they drained that pond, was when this movement was going on with the person with the goggles. And then no camper on 3-3. Where's the camper? Where's the camper? And why was somebody out in the wooded area northwest of their home with night vision
They got
goggles
picked
and
up in a car
flashlights?
and they headed westbound.
Sort of the northwest.
We need to search northwest.
That woods area gets so dense.
Sebastian will be found dead in the woods.
Wow, pretty bold statement. We forgot about that on Gray Hughes because we don't pay attention to Gray Hughes. Has Chris been trying to tell us this whole time where Sebastian is? Too bad law enforcement hasn't stayed on their ass because they're incompetent, right? They probably could have found this boy. But they told Chris too much stuff at the beginning and he was able to plan around them. They knew he was draining that retaining pond. They knew they were going to drain that retaining pond the next day, and all of the sudden we start having somebody, which we thought was chlamydia, walking through the neighborhood with goggles on, and it doesn't sound like it was chlamydia. It sounds like it was somebody else in the northwest area of the woods searching. This, to me, is pretty stinking important when it comes to the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. That is the handsome boy's face that you see right there. I'm going to ask you if you have seen him anywhere, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND, but his father would prefer all leads to go straight to the FBI. You can call your local FBI. I think there is one, 800 something FBI. I don't know. I don't have the number, but you can go Google FBI in your area and you'll have a number. You can call 911 in your area if you see him. Again, he should be 16 years old. He's going to be turning 17 years old. He might look a little more mature. He might have some facial hair, but he needs his glasses to see. We were told that he needed life-saving medication. Obviously, that is not true. He did take medication, but none that were life-saving treatments. So there we have it on the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. And now, of course, we are going to get to Charlie Kirk. And this right here is somebody that does not, believe in the type of politics that I believe. But I still thought she carried such a powerful message that I thought today of all days, it being a Sunday, a day of worship, a day of prayer, would be great for people to hear. I'm going to be talking about facts. I'm going to be gyrating your emotions. I'm going to be trying to speak to the people. And, I'm just going to do my part because we got big problems here. We got big problems. I know probably a little more than I should, and I'm not liking it. So we've got to make some decisions.
We don't serve the same God. You don't serve the same God as me anytime you can get online and celebrate the death of a man who gave his unsolicited opinion just like you do. To fix your mouth and make jokes about this man losing his life. This man was a husband. This man was a father. But to sit up and laugh and make jokes about it when you do exactly the same thing that he does, which is give your unsolicited opinion that nobody asked you for, there's somebody out there that don't like you either. There's somebody out there that don't like your opinions. There's somebody out there who would do the very same thing to you. So to sit up and laugh at somebody who only gave their opinion regardless of if you agree with it or not, thinking that it's okay for somebody to take that person's life and sit up and laugh about that, you don't serve the same God that I serve. A lot of y'all wonder why y'all life is so messed up and why you have the problems that you have. It's because you ain't got no God in you. You don't serve a higher power, and it shows. A lot of y'all are demonic. You have some evil spirits. I never listened to Charlie Kirk like that. I would see his stuff come across my timeline every now and then with his controversial takes, but I've never seen anything that he's personally done to justify somebody doing this to him. There's nothing to justify doing this to this man, regardless if you agree with his opinion or not. My prayers go out to his family. This is just a messed up situation, but it goes to show you just how far people will go when they don't like what you're saying.
This is the
when people stop.
This is the person that many of you guys never got to meet. He went out there. This is really what his message was all about, and why he was doing the work he was doing. It was to really save us. It was really to save all the beautiful people in all of our disagreements, and keep all of our disagreements talking, and keep them all on the table, and keep God as number one in our hearts and in our minds as we forge through these uncertain times.
When people stop talking, really bad stuff starts. When marriages stop talking, divorce happens. When civilizations stop talking, civil war ensues. When you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to want to commit violence against that group. What we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have reasonable disagreement where violence is not an option.
Where violence is not an option. That's the place we need to get back to. Where violence is not an option. I'm going to be the popcorn in Fat and Opinionated's world right now, because my head is sitting in his popcorn machine, as I just noticed. Hey, Seth, it's nice to see you and all of my beautiful people that are coming in here to show some love this beautiful Sunday. Yeah, they did get desperate. Everybody is desperate, but we need to get down to the root cause of why all of this is going on. And it sounds like there is some type of terrorist organization that are infiltrating the bodies, minds, and souls of impressionable people. We're going to learn that everything that we initially thought, this being trans, this is what people saw. I thought this was an assassin it's still funded. I still believe everything that we're dealing with is funded by George Soros. I think the Antifa organization is getting a lot of money from dark money, such as George Soros, Bill Gates, and a bunch of really disgusting people out there. And there are some disgusting, evil people that want world domination at all costs. And they don't care about us. They don't care about our government. They don't care about anything. The only thing keeping them from us is our military. And it's just like that. So, again, I'm going to be in the popcorn machine. I want to shut my mouth because I think he has something to say here. And I value his opinion on a lot of things, and I don't agree with him 100% on everything, but I value his opinion, and him and I align a lot on this topic, this subject matter.
Beginning of this whole tragic Charlie Kirk situation.
Thank you, guys.
I told you guys that I did not think that the suspect was working alone. And at the very least, that people in the crowd must have known that something was going to happen to Charlie. And it's not like this is a wild prediction or something I just pulled right out of my behind. No, there were people who went to the school, people who live in the area, who were posting on social media, hinting that something was going to happen to Charlie. And it just so happens that all of the people that were hinting that something was going to happen belonged to the trans community. I thought that was odd. But yeah, even in the seconds and moments after Charlie was killed, as they're pulling off his body, there were people in the crowd totally unfazed, not scared at all. There were people celebrating hell. People even ran up right to the desk where Charlie was shot, and they started stealing merchandise and hats and laughing, passing them out to the crowd. So, in seeing that, which is a totally
different Give me just a second. My neighbor's here with lunch. Now Delilah's here following me around like licking her lips. Let's see what we got for you. Well, let's see if you... We'll try you one here. There, eat that. Can't let her have too much, but I'll let her try one.
Than any other tragic incident like we've seen, like this that we've seen before. And seeing that reaction, it was clear to me that not only were we dealing with an assassin, we were dealing with a audience that was there to watch an assassination. Now, since then, a lot of...
This is Cinema Shogun, but this is on his Fat and Opinionated channel.
More information has come out. Today, we're learning that the suspect, Tyler Robinson, was actually shacked up in an apartment with his secret lover partner, Lance Twiggs, who happens to be a trans furry. Now, I've been looking into Lance's social media because it's obvious that Lance played a role in what happened to Charlie. And once again, this is not a wild assumption.
So what he's going to go into, let me just take a few moments and pause, this is new information that we've learned. Now, granted, we are learning that Tyler is, he was obviously indoctrinated, but he had an ideology going into college, from high school, being the left-wing nut. He wasn't quite a nut yet. He just hated his family, basically. He hated, not his family like he hated his dad, but what they stood for. He hated the values they instilled in him. Why would a kid hate the values his family instilled in him unless somebody was in their brain telling the values that their family instilled in them were wrong? Now, this is a religious family from what I'm understanding. Not only a religious family, but a conservative family. They have probably the same beliefs, much like myself. Again, we don't hate anybody. We have our beliefs. We feel that this is what's biblically right and what's biblically wrong, but I don't want harm to come to anybody. I don't have hate like that in my heart. It's just not something that I personally agree with or approve. But it's not my life, right? I don't do that for myself because I don't personally agree. I can think, that this is incorrect toward biblical times and still be kind and loving to someone. So this idea that just because we don't agree, we hate somebody is the most ludicrous thing I've ever seen. But here's what. We learned that Tyler was... very, very much left-wing to his very conservative family. Then he meets this guy, right, that's converting. This guy named Lance Twigg. I'm not going to call this guy Luna Twigg. Again, I don't show respect like that to people that harm other people or have hate in their heart. And Lance Twigg has hate in his heart. He hated people. He hated this side of the aisle. Hated. It wasn't, Tyler did, but all the real organizations, the Antifa organizations and stuff like that, this was from Lance, okay? And I think when he got with Tyler, he started, incorporating Tyler into that lifestyle because even though he didn't like conservatives like that, Tyler was still a normal kid from everything that we know. And now he's in this relationship with this guy that wants to be a girl, that's on a lot of medications, that's already indoctrinated into the trans type of organizations and networks. And it sounds like there is a network of people and there was a lot of foot traffic at Tyler's house leading up to the assassination. And those people knew what was going on. There was a Discord group that knew what was going on. And this is what I'm going to say to the world. And this will be, my commentary will go on to the next person that needs to know this. All of those people that knew this was going to happen and did nothing, I want the same exact cost that Tyler is going to pay their life. Because it is no different than them carrying that gun themselves. They had a duty to protect people, and they failed at the basic duty of humanity. You do not get to live and breathe the same air I breathe. And that goes for anybody. That goes for anybody. These were accessories before the fact, and these were accessories after the fact. And our federal government better get right. Because I can tell you there's a whole bunch of us that ain't playing with our federal government. Again, I'm a fair person. I'm a fair person. I've been sitting there screaming at Republicans, not as much as the Democrats on X, but there was one guy, Mike Lee, remember Bill Lee from Tennessee, and I kept saying there's Mike Lee and I really don't care for him. I unleashed on Mike Lee this morning. Like, how dare you? You guys had a duty to protect the American people. You guys have been with your head in the sand. You guys have been lying to us, telling us this is political banter when they want us dead. Like, where is your responsibility and accountability? I went off. I'm done with everybody. Everybody needs to get right. That's where I'm at, okay? Everybody needs to get right. Because what's going on, I never want to see again. As you guys can see, it moved me in such a way. You guys watch me here day after day crying. It moved me in such a way. And, you know, we deal with cases that don't move me as much as this case moves me. And you guys have seen what I've been willing to do for those cases. This is somebody that I hugged. This is somebody I highly respected. This is somebody I've seen at multiple events. This is somebody that I took photos with. This is somebody that was a key figure in everything that I believe is right and good in this country. And they took that from me, along with millions of other people. And so that is what's getting us to pay attention. That's what's getting us to talk about this. And we are going to continue to talk about this case because we need people to see what happened and see where the problems are, because we have got to fix this. We don't have an option. We don't have an option. We have to fix it. And I'm going to tell you right now, I will never sacrifice myself to fix anything. I'm not going to lay down with evil and sit. No, my voice is very strong. My conviction is very true. We do not negotiate with evil. We do not unify with evil. I pray over everybody that's involved, but I will not unify with evil. I will not put myself or subject myself to that.
This is not me pulling something straight out of my behind. Law enforcement already told us that Lance knew
They did
what
absolutely.
Tyler did.
Yep.
We already know that in the moments after Tyler killed Charlie, he messaged Lance on Discord, telling him the area and the location of the rifle, telling him about how he's changing clothes, basically going through the entire process. Now, I told you that once all of that information was exposed about the Discord, I told you guys, no one uses Discord to communicate with just one person. You use Discord to keep in contact with a group of people, with a community of people. So if Tyler...
So I want to also bring up, because this is becoming prevalent, and I think it's very important that we notate that this behavior that's being displayed with Charlie Kirk, think about it, is also the same behavior. Who is printing out this roadmap? Because it's the same behavior that these hate channels have, right? They target their person, they get people riled up, they start doxing their names, their addresses, and everything else. And I've been telling you guys that there's only one purpose, one reason why these hate channels do that. Because they want one of these people to be injured, right? To be injured. And so there's been a lot of things that are going to come out about this. This is going to be a lot of things that come out about this. Over the weekend, I can tell you, predominantly yesterday, I was on the phone with multiple people. And a lot of my politicians that I were on the phone with, what people don't understand, I've got people's private phone numbers on my phone. I can tell you that everything that I sent them all the stuff that you guys had sent me, but we ended up having a minor conversation about the stuff for the 20th, because with everything going on, we were already discussing, paths forwards on this way, and I reminded them that we have a meeting on the 20th. And so I sent them all over the stuff. Obviously, it's not as high of a priority as what we're dealing with here. But what I was told is that there's going to be a lot of changes across the board. There's going to be a lot of changes coming. They're trying to get the copyright board handled under control. They're having some legal complications with that. I don't know if you noticed, they fired one of their board members or something to that effect. I don't know a whole lot about it. They were trying to explain it to me, but with everything going on, my head's been foggy. And so there's been some litigation there. So we're going to get the copyright stuff taken care of. And this other situation where we have all of these people doing terrible things, we're actually, I mean, if you guys are on X, you guys know that they're talking about a Charlie Kirk Act. And that will give us more power on these social media channels that intentionally spread misinformation. So they can be easily held more accountable for that. So there's a lot of good stuff coming. The silver lining of Charlie Kirk is all this good stuff that's going to be rolling out over the next year as a result of this, that's going to protect us a little bit more. And I'm going to be working as hard as I can to try to craft some changes in there, and hopefully with a few modifications to the old law that ended up, that Obama, that's what started all this with these news stations. Remember, our news stations used to be news stations, right? Well, Obama, he ended a law that forced them to be accountable and tell us the truth. Obama did that. He removed it so they could start using the news stations for propaganda without them being held accountable. And so we're going to be enacting that new law, but that new law, I think, is going to be considered Charlie Kirk, the Charlie Kirk law. And it's going to force our news organizations, they will be able to be sued out of the wazoo if they do this kind of stuff ever again. And it's also going to spill over, I confirm that it will spill over to social media and content creators, so the content creators can't pick up the torch for social media and start getting paid to run decisive misinformation and disinformation campaigns. So there's going to be more coming out about this, but please don't think that I'm not going to be having that meeting on the 20th. That meeting was pretty much canceled as soon as Charlie Kirk was shot. And, but I have had my hands into all these conversations with them, so I do know that there are a lot of stuff that's going to be happening. And if you guys want to, I would just tell you, if you guys want to, please pay attention to our representative here in the state of Florida. His name's Randy Fine. He is really, 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 really working hard to get a lot of the things that we've been discussing on this channel pushed through at the federal level, not the state level, the federal level. That's the act. Thank you, Showpoodle. Smith-Munt Act. If you guys would like to see that, our piece of garbage, crappy Obama pukester started all of this when he was in office. And that right there, that act right there, protected us all. And that monster stripped it away to start working on their new world order, this conspiracy that everybody's been telling us that we were conspiracy theorists about, right? Seems like a lot of that stuff is coming true. I know it's getting hard for the hate channels to say, Betty was right? Betty's been right about a lot of things. Betty's been right about a lot of things going through this channel. You guys have watched me for years. I've been right, hitting stuff out of the park for a very, very long time. And there's a reason why I'm very passionate about this, but we're going to get over to the information that you guys need to have. But please understand, there's a reason why I am passionate about this. This does affect us. This affects all of us. And I don't know how to pull people's heads out of their butts, other than just making you guys hurt as bad as we hurt, right? Emotionally. That's why I'm going through all of this. You'll see, because we're going to be pulling some strings here.
Tyler's on Discord talking to Lance about what he did. I know he's on Discord talking to other people about what he did.
Yep.
And now we know that the FBI was able to collect Ring doorbell footage of Tyler on the phone with someone talking about killing Charlie and the minutes after he killed Charlie. We also have eyewitnesses from the scene that said they saw a mysterious car speed out of the area that left oil marks on the ground behind on the street. So we got all of these little pieces of this puzzle. We got all of this information showing that Tyler did not work alone. We know that Tyler was talking to Lance, but for some odd reason, the FBI and law enforcement are still saying that Tyler is working alone, even though they were the ones that let everyone know about the Discord messages. Listen, if you're in communication with someone leading up and after committing a crime, telling them and giving them updates, as far as I'm concerned, they play a role in it, especially if they're not calling law enforcement. But anyways, we got all of that going on. So I started looking more into Lance Twiggs. And I started looking into the people that he was following on social media.
Listen, I don't care what little Shirley, you should know me better than that. I don't care what these organizations say they've got or not. Law enforcement told us that they were communicating on Discord. Law enforcement said it at the press conference. And went as far as to say that the Discord's message say to pick up my gun at the drop location. So I don't care what Discord says to get themselves out of maybe liability or anything like that. But there is absolutely 100% proof that he was in Discord with a bunch of people. As a matter of fact, my sources are telling me that there's 6 people under investigation from that very group. They also said that people tried to hide and destroy evidence and messages inside that group, and that the FBI's got all of them. And I think there might even be an X post that says as such. I post a lot of stuff, folks. You guys need to be on X and following me on X, because I'm posting a lot of stuff out there that doesn't quite make it because there's so much stuff. It's like one of any of our other cases. There's so much information. It's a fluid situation right now. But please, when we're dealing with organizations, companies, and the government, please quit taking their word for it. Okay? You know, that you got to understand. There's somebody that was going to be our future president assassinated in front of a bunch of college students. I'm sure Discord is covering their CYA, covering their ass, right? So I don't know. I think we need to get past what Discord's saying and start listening to a little bit of the FBI. Now, the FBI is sanitizing the crap out of this. But what I do know is that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino were close friends with Charlie. I know that hands down, absolutely close friends. They have been doing this together for over 10 years. Over 10 years. Okay? This has deeply affected both of those men. And they are going to fight like hell, but we have to remember this is like every one of our other cases, okay? The man's in jail. They've got to be careful what they say to the public. He has a duty to, he has a right to a fair trial, okay? And they have to take those things into consideration, but they also have to take into the national security and national attention of this as well. So they're being a little more lenient than most of our law enforcement because they are federal government and they will figure it out when they get there. But there is things going out. This isn't a lone wolf situation. This is, they are going to, because you got to think about it. Leone Mangione, 20-something, nutso in the head, smart, comes from a well-to-do family. That guy that's from Tim Walz's camp that assassinated those 2 Congress politicians. Then we've got, you know, the girl on the train, which wasn't from my understanding anything to do with the you know, Transgender Terrorist Organization or anything like that. It's just, you know, the policies that put that man out there on the streets that did that. And then we have this other issue here where they executed Charlie Kirk because they have been brainwashed to think that that man is a fascist. Which the only fascist we've seen are the people trying to strip us of our guns and take over our country. And that is the Democrat Party. Sorry, not sorry.
And of course, all of these people that Lance was following, they're all like radical, trans, leftist, furries, all weird people. But all of them were celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. Now, of course, we're seeing a lot of people on the left do that.
Yeah. A lot of people on the left are celebrating. The left is the Democrat Party, if you didn't know. Okay? So we have a lot of demonic, evil-spirited, evil-bodied people celebrating the death of a Christian family man that was not violent, but just wanted civil debate. And he wanted that civil debate because he always thought when you stop talking, bad things happen. And look what happened to him. So anybody that really supports that party is giving them the green light to continue to do this. And that's where my line in the sand is drawn. I will not associate, be with, support anybody that's willing to do this to me or my friends. I've had enough. My friends were sitting in the front row when Donald J. Trump was almost assassinated in Butler, Pennsylvania. I would have been sitting in that front row had I had the money and not been in all this court stuff. So, playtime is over. My give a damn about people's feelings is done. Diplomacy is done. This is a big problem for me. It should be a big problem for you.
But some of them were saying things that just, I don't know, it didn't sit right with me. Because you got to remember, we have the suspect, Tyler Robinson. He lives with Lance Twiggs, okay, who is this trans furry guy.
Check this
The
out.
trans furry guy is following other people in the trans community on social media. And it just so happens that the people he's following on social media are not only celebrating Charlie's death, but they're posting things like this right here that really makes me believe they may have known what was going to happen. Because right here, from someone named Churbum75M, we effing did it.
I hope and pray they are held accountable. Now, we know where all this violence is coming from, but now we need to figure out who's funding it. Because I'm telling you, me and the people I associate with, we don't play when it comes to our politics, and we damn sure don't play when it comes to people getting assassinated. At all. I don't know what your comfort level is on that. But when Paulina Luna was trying to take everything off, I'm sitting there arguing with her, no, it needs to stay up. I want that ugly truth smacking every single person in the face for the next 8, 10, 20 years. I want you to see how grotesque it is and how dangerous it is for political violent language. They've been screaming war, they've been screaming take us down, they've been calling us fascists. Those were all words until people started believing it and trying to take our lives. This is not just something that happened to Charlie and happened to President Trump. This is something that has happened to all of us that have been on this campaign trail multiple times. The violence from the left. It happens so often and so bad that even when I'm at rallies, I've got to take my shirts off just to be able to talk to you guys online, just to keep some of my safety and where I'm at disclosed, because I'm scared of the people that are watching might be able to do something to hurt me. And with the hate channels on here trying to pass out my information to have that be done to me, it puts me in a very, very worrisome spot. And maybe a lot of this story resonates with me a little more than others because I know what the hate channels try to do to me. And I stood right here on this platform and said they're trying to kill me or get me killed. And I was not joking. And everybody wanted to scoff it off and, oh, Betty's just being Betty. Well, I also spoke exactly the way Steve Miller did. Whenever you rile up your base and then you start dropping addresses and locations, what are you truly wanting happen? There is nothing other than you want that person hurt with bodily injury. I've said it so many times from this very podium and platform. Because most of them are part of the left. That's why. Where's the playbook coming from? And why is it the same playbook in politics as it is here on social media? Pretty big question. Makes you think, doesn't it? And guess where they plot against me and against BJ? Would it surprise you if I told you Discord? Discord? Because obviously that is the breeding ground for nothing but problems. Interesting. Pretty stinking interesting. Wonder what I'm going to find.
Right after Charlie died, this person goes on social media, says we did it, and then in their other social media profiles, they post all of this crazy, evil, demonic stuff about Charlie, like this right here. POV, Charlie Kirk watching the video of his wife getting cracked by a homeless junkie in hell.
These are the people that you guys represent. If you're on the left,
so it just so happens
Democrat Party,
that the people...
these are the people you're representing.
That Tyler Robinson's little trans boyfriend or whatever he is following on social media. It just so happens that they're celebrating Charlie's death, and they're saying we did it as if they had a part in it.
Good point.
And not just that, they're talking about going after Charlie's wife next. They're saying that, oh, Charlie's going to have to watch from hell as his wife gets attacked next. That's basically what they're saying.
So again, if you guys are wondering why I make the statement I'm making, it's because nobody's wanting to unify. We are now have a list of targets. Many people that I'm friends with, affiliated with, in one fashion or another, are all on that list. And just for the hate channels, because people kept thinking everybody hates me so much, I didn't make the cut. I just thought I'd throw that out there. I checked the list. I checked it twice. I'm just not that important. The only place I rent space in is in your heads, because I'm not on the list. I just thought I'd let you know. I wanted to check. I've done some pretty crazy shit out there in my days. I protested in front of a lot of nasty people's houses in my days. A lot of evil. Had to talk my way out of it in a bullhorn, right? So I was pretty sure. I remember that teacher that didn't like me, that didn't like me pulling up in front of their house with my big old speaker and signs. I remembered that, and I'm like, you know what? I wonder if I got put on the list, right? Because the hate channels say I'm the most dangerous person on YouTube. I thought I'd check. I'm not that important. I didn't raise to the cream of the crop. That means I can still run my mouth. There's no hit taken out on Bullhorn Betty. We're good. We're safe from the crazy people, the nuts from the left. Well, some of them, just some. All right, getting back. She is a beautiful lady. She's upset. She watched something a wife should never have to see. Her strength, but I know. We're Christian folks. And everybody thinks that because we're Christian folks, you just lay down and you just take it and you just put your hands on people and pray for the situation. I leave that for the clergymen. If I can pray for somebody, I will. But if I can't, I can't, and I should be able to pray for everybody. I could tell you Charlie Kirk is a better Christian than I will be. It's something I strive to be. I don't know if I'll ever get there in a lifetime. He was that great. I don't know if I'll get there in that lifetime, and that's okay. I don't need to be perfect. What I need to do is I need to lead, and I need to come from a place of strength. And I need to show you guys that what's been going on is not right. It's not right. You can no longer support evil. We can't sit here and try to fix this problem if we're supporting what's causing it. We now realize what's causing it. We now realize more than anything in the world what's causing it.
Now, folks, I want you to understand it did not take long for me to go in and find out some of this information. And I know that this is just the tip of the iceberg, but I felt like I need to go ahead and sit down and make a video about it now, because my question now is, what in the hell is the FBI doing?
Exactly.
If I could find this information, then I know they can as well. They found every single person that attended January 6th, and they brought them in no problem.
I will tell you guys, and just trust me when I say this, just please trust me when I say this. They're going to stay quiet, okay? They're going to be quiet. There's not going to be a whole lot going on right now. They have no reason to have a whole lot going on right now. Right now, they are investigating something much bigger. They need people talking. They're going to be making deals to keep people talking. They are rooting the issue out. That's why we're not hearing about the boyfriend. That's why we're not hearing about the 6 people that are now under investigation. It's why we're not hearing about the messages from the Discord. I promise you, the stuff is going to come out. Okay, they're not going to withhold from us. But we do have to, and I know it's going to be hard, especially with everything that we do here. We always want information. When it comes to Sumner County, what pisses me off is they're silent. They're silent, and they're not providing us anything, right? That's not what it is with the FBI. The FBI has already given us a lot to gnaw on, a lot to research, right? They gave us enough little nuggets out of the press conference. We in the true crime community should be able to take those nuggets, thoroughly research them, and have an idea of where we're going with the case. What's going on. As if it's like with any other case that we cover. This is no different. We don't ever get a whole lot of information from law enforcement. We have to take the little nuggets that we get. We have to thoroughly research it. We have to analyze the case. We have to look at statistics. And then we have to start putting the case together with those limited facts. This is no different. For us, of course, we're always going to have the same drumbeat that the information they gave us is never enough, because it's never enough, right? We never get enough. Even when we go to court, we never have enough. We never have enough information. We never have enough evidence. The public, I'm saying, not the courts. A lot of people are convicted in the courts. There are a handful that go to court that don't get convicted. I've seen a few of those. And, the people I blame is the prosecutors and law enforcement. They brought a case that was not successful. And that means they didn't plead their case beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a tough and stringent bar to have versus probable cause. Or say a civil suit, which is based upon a preponderance of evidence. So a lot of stuff is going on here. But I promise you, it's going to be a lot clearer as we start progressing. I understand what they're doing and why they are not giving us any nibbles. I know exactly why they're not. And it is just like I'm telling you, this is a lot bigger than many people think. They have to look at who's all involved. They have to look at who's the leader. They have to look at, who's the funder. You're not going to get that way if you're just, you got to play nice for a little bit. And I think we're in that nice phase of, cooperation and providing a lot of information. What is that going to look like on the back end? I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on this particular matter because, to be honest with you, my speculation could cause disruptions in their investigation, and I'm not willing to do that for Charlie. So we're just going to keep it the way it is. But I do know why they're not throwing everything on the table at this very moment. But I do know
they should have
no
no problem finding this bigger network of people who were conspiring to kill Charlie, because it looks like I done stumbled upon this network my damn self.
Yeah. He's right.
Yet no arrests have been made for these people.
Nope.
They know for a fact that Lance Twiggs was literally talking about what Tyler did and had knowledge that Tyler was going to do what he did. Lance is not in jail yet. So what's really going on? Is the FBI incompetent and they're still playing catch up and they don't know the information that I'm sharing with you yet? I highly doubt it, because the FBI has been getting tips. People already gave the FBI this information. So if we do not see any more arrests, then that tells us everything we need to know about what's really going on here. If we do not see other people arrested, then that lets us know that the FBI and law enforcement are not really doing their job, because this goes beyond Tyler.
I will tell you again, this is what people don't realize. Our vice president, J.D. Vance, and Charlie Kirk were like best friends. Okay? They were on a campaign trail long before he was even, I really do believe it was Charlie Kirk that got J.D. Vance over, because J.D. Vance was staunch against Donald Trump when he was just a freshman in Congress. And within 2 years, he realized he did not like what Congress was telling him, and he ended up really kind of stepping up for Donald Trump. I never in my wildest dreams ever thought they were touting J.D. Vance as a possible VP pick. I never understood. I'll tell you a story. This is a true story. So, J.D. Vance, there was a lot of heat because, the MAGA movement, when you go against Trump or you say something derogatory, it usually has some really negative effects. And so you can imagine our opinion of J.D. Vance. Well, Don Jr. called and wanted the front row Joes there, right? Just wanted somebody there to help represent, to show that we're, handing lines over. And I thought it'd be a great opportunity. I had never had a conversation with J.D. Vance before. If you know anything about me, I'm a very direct person. I know you guys are probably shocked to hear that, but I'm a very direct person. So one of the questions I had asked J.D. Vance was something like, why in the world would you say nasty things? I can't remember what I said. It was something like nasty things about Donald Trump, and he explained it to me. He sat, and this was after everybody had left. We had a room. The room was full. We had a smaller room, not like an event, and they were very concerned that, because the heat from him. So we went up there. We were in obviously the front row, and after everybody left, that's when we got to, sit there and talk to Don Jr. and J.D. Vance. And J.D. told me that all the senators, this is what they do behind the scenes. When they're freshmen coming in, they basically tell them, if you don't do what I say, we will make sure that you're not reelected. Basically, they ostracize you. Whatever they do in those chambers has got to stop. Because when we represent somebody to go into Congress, whether it's for the Senate position, for a House of Representatives position, they should not be forced by the will of the party when we're hiring them to do one thing, to represent us. And that's when I realized all of this other stuff going on behind the scenes was that conversation. He didn't need to tell me that, but after hearing the answer he provided, I finally understood, because he was a freshman going in, and people were basically telling him, if you don't do this or you don't do that, they were scaring them, making them feel like they couldn't stand on their own. If they did stand on their own or wanted to find their voice, they would have them removed, you know, in the next election. And that really kind of upset me, but it kind of put it in perspective. So he needed to get in there. He needed to find his own voice. And obviously he was a little nervous being a freshman, you know, this being a big deal for him. He worked very hard to become, to get into Congress. And so I understood, you know, and after I heard his explanation and it made sense to me, and I saw him eyeball to eyeball, and I believed what he told me, that was it. You know, I was, I crossed over the line. I was no longer mad at J.D. Vance. And that was, if I had to put my timing on it, that was like a year and a half before he was ever touted as VP. So, those are just, you know, special moments that you many people don't understand. Like, everybody's like, oh, how did you know these people? Because I showed up. I talked to people. I was interested in what their, where our country was going. You know, they're wanting me to give them my support, right? I want to know what that support looks like. What are you planning on doing with my support, right? I'm very pleased with this. If you guys don't think that his 3 best friends that are in some of the highest powers in our government at all, VP, the director, 2 directors of the FBI, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, if you don't think that they know something and they're going to do something for Charlie, everybody got it wrong. Everybody's got it wrong. And I'm just going to leave it like that. These are his friends, not just friends, very, very, very close, if not best friend. J.D. Vance, this hurt J.D. Vance. If I had to tell you that Donald Trump most likely cried over Charlie, I would not be lying. He was like a family member to the Trump family. He was a very, very, very important part, and I've always said from the very beginning, this was never about Charlie or his words. It was about Donald Trump, and the more I'm learning about it, the more I still believe it's true. Everybody on that list is to get to Donald Trump. It's because they're the biggest, loudest names and rooters for Donald Trump. That's what it was about, and people need to understand that. Charlie was just the casualty.
And every minute and every second and every day that these people are still out here not being held accountable is another second, another day that they could do something to someone else like what they did to Charlie. And I guarantee you they're already planning on it. And I guarantee you they are more emboldened now than ever after getting away with what happened to Charlie. And when I say getting away, yeah, Tyler may be locked up, but there's other people.
For all of my friends that are still going around on campuses and doing that, and I know, like, Ben Shapiro has, like, some of the, like, he's got 24/7 security around him. From here on out, even our private securities, they've got to be on the roofs, folks. All right? They've got to be on the roofs. This is the second such attack from an unsecured roof. We should not be having unsecured roofs. At this point, if we have an unsecured roof and this happens again, who the hell do we blame at that point? At that point, we got to start blaming ourselves. I mean, how many times does this need to happen before we realize we're leaving a major blind spot at every single one of these events if those roofs are not covered? If you can't man them, put drones on them. Put drones on them. Cameras, security cameras, installing a few security cameras from those rooftops probably wouldn't hurt. Maybe it's some type of grant we can start getting pushed through the federal government, since it is truly a safety issue and becoming a safety issue. Maybe we need to start putting some cameras, some security cameras on roofs that can move around to watch what's going on up there. Betty, I have been so upset about all this. I've done nothing but cry. Trust me, I'm all cried out. I'm just thankful my eyes have the swelling has gone down. My eyes were swollen. They've been swollen. I've been angry, I've been mad. Even the preacher today is like, I open social media and it just, you get hate in your heart. And like I told you, I've got hate in my heart. I identify for the first time in my life true, utter hate and contempt in my heart. I've never had that I could ever recall like this. And so I've got to check myself too. But at the end of the day, I'm not a kumbaya person, okay? I'm a realistic person. I go to church to help, drown me in the armor so I can keep fighting for the good work. But it doesn't mean that I am a doormat. It doesn't mean that I don't think for myself. It doesn't mean that I can't say no, or I can't say yes, or I'm not going to get into this, or I'm not going to get into that. No. Me treating people with respect like I am doing now, that's all that I'm required to do, okay? I love people. I care about people deeply. But if people aren't going to care about me as deeply as I care about them, or they're not going to love thy neighbor as thy neighbor loves them, then we've got a big problem. And I'm not one of those people that turn around and run away or say, can I pray for you? I pray for everybody. But I'm not going to say, can I pray for you when I'm looking at a barrel of, what, right? These people have terrorized us for 10 years, and they just executed a key figure of our movement. So I don't know what that says to everybody, but I think that's kind of where you say it's time for us to put the prayers down. We got to keep praying, but it can't be all we do at this point. We've got to truly have a spiritual awakening, and we have got to start taking that passion we have and putting it into positive action. And that's where I'm at. It doesn't mean that I'm changing my mind. It just means that, hey, this is the situation we're in. We know that this is the situation we're in, and we've got to do better. We've got to be louder. We've got to pray harder. We've got to uplift the people that are out here doing the work to try to stop this from ever happening again. History will always repeat itself, and while we're humans and we've got people that are narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths out there, people that want to do harm for their benefit, those people will always be in the human population. We will never be able to eradicate that out of the human population. But what we can do is lock it up. Right? When they start hurting people, killing people, and those types of things, we can definitely lock them up, and we can definitely take their life away from them if our laws so justify it. So that's where I'm at. I'm absolutely law and order. I don't believe in violence in any way, stretch, or form. But I also know that this is, as Jasmine Crockett would like to call it, we're at war. And that's words that they chose to use, not me. But I'm not going to be willing to stick my head in the sand and not listen to them, because I haven't been listening to them for 10 years, and now somebody I highly respect and know is dead. So I have to start listening to those words. I have to realize that this is no longer political banter. They've been saying it. They took a shot. They killed somebody on our side of the aisle, a very prominent figure on our side of the aisle. So I'd have to say that was their act against this side, and I don't know how to process that. But I think we need prayer, but I don't think we're going to be able to pray ourselves out of this one. I think what we need to do is pray for our country's strength and resolve. That's the prayer that needs to be happening. The people that want to ditch the party and want to do right are more than welcome to do it. That's a personal choice for them, but I can't support somebody that wants to cause harm to people like me over our speech, especially when I sit up here every single day and rely on that very speech, that protected speech, to do my job. It's just, I had to pray very hard over the action and the path that I'm going to take. I have thought about this at length. I've prayed over it. And my decision is very clear. My decision is very clear. And if you don't know what my decision is, I would suggest everybody go over to my posts on my page and read it. It wasn't out of hate, wasn't out of anything other than self-preservation. Self-preservation. And we can't help anybody unless we have what we need. And so it has to be self-preservation first, and then we can help everybody else.
People that knew for sure. I don't think it was a coincidence anymore that you had multiple people in the trans community in Utah talking about how something bad was going to happen to Charlie the next day. They all knew. They're all part of these groups, and they all need to be in jail. But I highly doubt they will be. I highly doubt that anything is going to be done to them. But I'm going to do my part in shining a huge spotlight on all of this weird stuff that is going on surrounding the death of Charlie Kirk. Because unfortunately, I don't think we can count on, well, we obviously can't count on the mainstream media. I don't think we can count on half of the independent media. And I don't know, I don't have the faith in law enforcement and the FBI and stuff like that some people do these days.
I will tell you, I agree with them. I don't have faith in law enforcement either, but I do have faith in 4 people that I know are running this investigation, and that's Donald J. Trump, J.D. Vance, Vice President J.D. Vance, Director Kash Patel, and Director Dan Bongino. I don't have trust in a lot of people, but those 4 people I absolutely have trust in, and I don't think Charlie's going to be another case by any stretch of the imagination ever. This is interesting. It says now they're saying that Tyler Robinson had people showing up at his house with out-of-state plates in weeks leading up to leading up to the assassination, according to the New York Post. Okay, so now the New York Post is telling us that there's more going on behind the scenes than a lone wolf type of scenario. So they also further state that these people gave a very, very not so good vibe. Utah FBI did not share the picture of Tyler with Kash Patel at first. We have some leadership issues in the FBI, but I know Kash will get those under control. I think Kash was sandbagged. He's going up before Congress and everything. Oh, nobody's mad at Kash Patel. Let me just put this on the record. Nobody from our side of the aisle is upset with Kash Patel, but the people that want a war with us, the left and the Democrat Party, they're trying to shut our government down. Okay, as we speak right now, the Democrat Party is literally trying to shut our government down. I would suggest that everybody get on their phones and start calling the Democrat side and saying, you must keep our government open. But they don't care about you. They only care about power and money, and the only way they can get money is by funding their friends that cut them these checks and these backroom deals and through these nonprofit organizations. Okay, so if you guys want to know the truth, right? You guys can hate me for being the messenger, but the bottom line is we're actively dealing with a government, a half of our government, the Democrat side. I wouldn't even say half. We're going to clean house over the next 4 years. I can guarantee that. After this act, people are waking up. We're going to see some of them here in just a little bit. So we got out-of-state plates coming. So this guy did not act alone. He was obviously provided information from people. People came to his house to help him plan. So we have accessories before the fact and accessories after the fact. I am pretty sure, unless one of these people have the purse strings or who the purse strings are being funded from, there's not a whole lot of immunity here. I know that I would have to think that J.D. Vance and the Patel and Bongino, that they would consider the funder and the psychos that, indoctrinated this person, if they can find that, would be far more superior than, say, his trans boyfriend, okay? So would they be willing to make a deal to find the shark? I think they would. So I don't know what angle they're going with this, but I think that that's kind of more in line with what I'm seeing here than, you know, them not doing their job or them not wanting to be held accountable. And I can absolutely guarantee, I don't think they want that the FBI wants to mess with Kash Patel or Dan Bongino, because they'll fire your ass. They don't care. If they have the ability to fire you and you want to be disrespectful or not do your job or lie to them, they will fire you, and we will stand behind them when they do. So let me read this all. In my opinion, this all ties to Butler and why they couldn't access Crook's phone. It would have been proven who was incubating him from where. It's not just Crook's. We've got Wall's ex-employee. We've got Louis Mangione. These are all people that were radicalized by someone. And I guarantee it was the same group that's infiltrating these people's lives, funding them, or promising them something, radicalizing them, and then putting a target on somebody's back, handing them a loaded weapon and saying, go, we'll be there for you. And just like Tyler found out, he's asking somebody to pick up his gun from the drop point, and guess what? Nobody shows up. Many of them may have very well thought they were undertaking a secret mission from, I mean, as far-fetched as this is, it's possible that they believed that they were a part of some type of association. I don't know. Maybe they knew they were part of Antifa and that was fine for them. But it seems like they may have thought they were part of an association that would actually get away with this. Or that they're doing it for national security or something like that. Like, I feel like there's something bigger here in that realm, but, you know, it could just be a bunch of angry trans people that are highly medicated on whatever makes their innies outies and outies innies. I don't know. But I have to think that with this medication, including, you know, things like Call of Duty, is really doing a number on these really messed up minded individuals. But that's just my opinion. I think we're seeing some facts that would support that opinion. Like I said, months ago, someone was grooming and incubating these people, putting dark notions in their mind on Reddit, Blue Sky, and then in Antifa chapters locally, funding these groups and hyping up ones that think they radicalize and activate. It's an operation most likely going on for years. We need to see these full interrogation tapes. They are grooming assassins, I'm telling you. They are using Reddit and echo chambers to find ones they believe are susceptible to influence. And I really, truly believe it has something to do with those scholarships. I'm sorry. I just feel like somebody, even if they're in the transgender terrorist cult, I still think that they're accessing some type of psychological profile on these people to identify them. So they're finding ways to find which ones are susceptible to this influence, and they pluck them out. Even replied to Charlie about it in March. Don't be surprised if that's what's going on with Thomas Crooks and others that made it as optimal as possible to allow him to access that day at Butler. If they could spend millions and weaponize the government to commit treason on Russiagate, use the complicit media to push their message and charge Jan 6ers and never mind, a president that's never broken a law is a 34-time felon because of these radical people. You guys don't think that these people are coming after you? You got your head. Let me guess. You're one of these people that think, oh, this is just all hocus pocus. What are you going to do? Let me just throw this out here to all the naysayers that are going to come across this channel. What are you going to do when the day does come? And they do come by and ask you, are you Republican or Democrat? What are you going to do when that day does happen? Because I'm telling you, it looks like it's closer now than it's ever been. Somebody is higher up the food chain doing all of this. Are you guys seeing it? Because if you're not, you probably need to do your own research. Because I think if you guys just did your own minimal research like we do with our criminal cases, it might scare you guys a little bit. But I think you guys need to be scared. I think it's time for you to do your own independent research and see what all this means to you. Because I truly believe the ones that are sane out there, that does their research and really does look at it and not ask Grok for this, but really dig into research that is founded on fact and truth. You know what publications do that and which ones don't. You know how to look into people's social media profiles and figure stuff out. You guys are all equipped to do that. You know how I know? Because each and every case that I have, whether it be Sebastian Rogers, Summer Wells, Jill and Lily, or Jack and Lily Sullivan, you guys were the researchers of that. You guys sent me a whole host of amazing research. That's how I know you guys have the ability to do your own research, because you do a lot of my work for me.
Process the last couple of days, and forgive me if I don't have the energy. It has been really troubling. I just came here to announce my official divorce from the Democratic Party, and you're talking to a guy who's been voted Democrat since I was 18 years old. Up until recently, I've been changing how I vote, but still carrying the label, you know. I'm the type of guy who doesn't jump ship. I try to be the voice of reason within the ship to try to steer it back to a true north. But this party has lost its way. The Democratic Party, let's be honest, has become demonic and barbaric. And I, as a Christian, can't be a part of that anymore. Look, I'm a proud and beautiful black man. I love being black. I love my skin, everything that comes with it.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I remember they used to stand for the right thing. But before I'm beautifully black, before I am a member of any party, I'm a born-again Christian.
Amen.
I'm a born-again Christian, and the Democratic Party right now doesn't represent my values, my ethics, and I can't support
He's married, Donna.
Barbarism and the divisiveness that they've been engaged in. I mean, we could run down the list, guys. As recently as yesterday, because of the rhetoric that the Democratic Party has been spewing for the last 10 years or so, has been so extreme and so just over the top.
Donna.
That rhetoric resulted in a man who was professing his love to Jesus,
Amen,
to strangers, and have an open and civil dialogue.
Amen.
Something we all should celebrate. I don't
Amen.
care whether you agree with his opinions or not. His opinions weren't coming from an evil place.
No, they were not.
He just wanted to talk.
Yep.
And he was assassinated for it. In front of his loved ones, in front of his family. And now 2 children don't have a father because a man just wanted to talk. A wife doesn't have a husband because a man just wanted to talk. I can't be a part of a party that did that. A party that fostered that. I can't. And you guys can run around acting like you're apologetic and you're sorry, but I know deep down inside you're not. I know you're not. I've heard your rhetoric for too long. My wife said that when somebody shows you who they are, you got to believe them. And man, she's so right on this. I believe in who you are right now. I can't support a party that coddles criminals and vilifies victims. I can't. I just can't. 800,000 men and women get up every morning. We're not perfect, but we do the best we can to protect people and keep people safe. And because you guys have bought into a dangerous ideology as it relates to law enforcement that puts criminals on a pedestal and makes them the victims, and calls the victims racist for wanting justice. That goes against the Bible. That goes against the gospel, because in the gospel, the Bible says God hates when the innocent are persecuted.
Amen.
And he hates when the guilty goes free.
Amen.
But that's what's happening. And the guilty keeps going free over and over and over again, resulting in the murder of a poor young lady on the train. It doesn't matter her color.
Amen.
She didn't deserve that. But if you're in the color, guess what? A few days before, a young black woman was murdered by a man who shouldn't have been here. I can't support a party that doesn't put its people first. I can't support a party who purposely and willfully broke the borders for power. Don't get it twisted. It wasn't about caring about people for other countries. It was about power. Some people in here who shouldn't have been here, who hurt Americans, who hurt cities, who took over apartment buildings. Breaking the border caused more human trafficking. Hundreds of thousands of kids were trafficked.
Everything we're against. Everything we're against.
Would have come through, and you empowered the cartels to spread fentanyl throughout our country, killing hundreds of thousands of people every year. I can't support that. As a Christian and as a man, I can't. See, as a man, I'm a protector. I believe in protecting, and the Democrats fail to protect Americans. You can't argue me down on this. You can't. Can't continue to have the Democratic label. Can't hold that for a party that wouldn't even stand for a 13-year-old black child who survived cancer. I can't be a part of a party who engaged in silencing millions of Americans, violating their constitutional rights. I don't care what you say, that's what they did. They work with big tech to silence millions of Americans on a myriad of issues. That's the most un-American thing I've ever seen. And they got away with it. People who some of their opinions you may not have agreed with. Some of the opinions, disgusting. But many of the opinions were rooted in logic. They were rooted in sound logic. And you canceled them, you banned them, you kicked them off platforms so you could dominate the mic. I can't support a party that supports affirming children mutilating themselves while they're in a state of confusion. Look, if you turn 18 and you want to do that, let me tell you something. That's your business, and I'm still going to love you no matter what.
Amen.
But when a child is developing and growing, for God's sakes, why would we engage in barbarism against them? Why would we give them pills to alter them? Why would we do that when they're still growing? As a Christian man, I can't do that. I can't. So, I can go on and on, guys. I can go on and on. And I'm not saying all Democrats are like this. I'm not saying all Democrat elected officials are evil or demonic. But for many of you who know I'm right, to sit there and be silent while this party spreads such divisive rhetoric, such hate, and then they have their pundits doing the same, and now everybody's washing their hands like, oh, we condemn violence in any form. What the hell did you think was going to happen? What the hell did you think was going to happen? When you keep calling half of the country Nazis, deplorables, racist, when you emotionally hijack people on college campuses where they can't reason or think. They can't think. They don't see people. They see something to hate. And over time, it inspires people to try to kill the other side. I can't. I saw you weaponize the justice system against one man because you wanted power. I had never seen one man go through so much. Whether you like the president or you hate him, I don't care. The one thing we should, as Americans, should agree on was that shouldn't happen. It wouldn't have happened to anybody else. But I watched you guys abuse the justice system because you wanted power so badly. No. As a black man and as a Christian, I can't support the Democratic Party anymore. You got black people dying all over this country through the violent crime, and you're fighting the president who's trying to stop it from happening. You may not like how he's doing it, but man, he's proven it works, and you don't want to work with him to save more lives. As a black man, that bothers me. So, I am sorry for going so long. But until the Democratic Party gets their head on straight, I don't want to be associated with you anymore. You can call me an independent. You can call me whatever you want. But I can't do it anymore.
So, I found that it spoke to me. It said a lot of the reasons why I did the things that I did, you know, this morning with my chat, with my stuff. It's my line in the sand. It's my line in the sand. When this party gets back to being what it used to be, being normal, you know, having normal discord, you guys have your, when it's there, I don't care. I welcome it. But when people are dying and losing their lives so publicly and disgustingly, and it's coming from one side, at some point, I'm sorry, it's unacceptable. The cheers were unacceptable, and if any of you guys did it, I'd said check yourself. That is a characteristic I'm telling you you don't want to have. It'll bring you nothing but pain and misery because you're wanting pain and misery on others. This is not okay. What we've seen going on in our country is not okay. And there are many people just like me standing up and saying enough is enough. People are finally finding their voice from the country stars to that man right there, all over. I mean, what's that guy's name? Bill Maher? Whatever his name is. He's a late night comedy guy. He's even saying, enough! We've all had it. We've all had it. Everybody. Any normal person. Let me just put it like that. Any normal person has had it. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. This was something I never in my wildest dreams thought I would be living through. But here we are. And I have a job to do. And my job is far superior than just me.
You complain about losing your job for your freedom of speech when Charlie Kirk just lost his life for using his freedom of speech. Enough with the semantics, enough with the dramatics. The people who were terminated from their positions obviously put unspeakable things on the internet and they were held accountable. We have no choice as American citizens but to become united as one. This is no more red versus blue, left versus right. Let me say it again. This is no more red versus blue, left versus right. We become united or we lose this country. I have vowed to do everything in my power to take action. There's no more talking. It's only action. I will be starting a podcast. I will be continuing the digital footprint archives over on the Book of the Face. And I will be keeping myself loud. Say it with me in the comments. Hashtag we are Charlie Kirk. How?
We are Charlie Kirk. Now we're going to get over to Nick the Hat. Always got the stuff, always gets the stuff. You know, we got a lot of different people working around the clock trying to find answers and understand. We have so many, I'll be honest with you, there are literally so many people working on this case. from political sides, true crime side, like just everybody, that we're getting a lot of information that we probably shouldn't have out there. I do not name drop or provide any of my information that was provided to me confidentially ever out there. The stuff that is being out there from certain sources are being put out there from the certain sources at their direct permission. So I do want to make sure this is public records right here, related to this, right, the probable cause affidavit. And there is a probable cause affidavit. We're going to have to blow it up, and I'm going to have to try to read it. It starts right here, so let me get this up. Make sure it's coming on the screen. Give me a second. We'll just read it together. Is that better? I think that's better. Without cutting my head completely off. I can take my head off, but what it says, I'll read it all to you. The following information was obtained by your affiant from police officer. Multiple video recordings posted on social media websites, Utah Valley University campus surveillance cameras, and those who witnessed the incident. On September 10th, 2025, Charles James Kirk at the Utah Valley University, UVU, campus in Orem, Utah, for a political event. Mr. Kirk is a conservative political activist who was scheduled to speak at an event in the courtyard area on the UVU campus. The courtyard area is to the west of Lucy Center Building. According to video recording, Charles was wearing a white t-shirt and dark pants, sitting under a white canopy in the courtyard of the campus facing east. The event was attended by hundreds of individuals. Charlie was surrounded by people, with multiple individuals to his left, right, and rear and front of the canopy. Behind the canopy was a walkway used for access to various parts of the university. Charles was holding a microphone and speaking to a crowd. While speaking into the microphone, a loud gunshot was heard at approximately 12:23 hours, and Charles appeared to have been hit in the neck. Blood was seen coming out of the left side of his neck as he fell over in his chair. Charles was transported to Timpangos Regional Hospital in Orem. Charles was pronounced deceased at the hospital. Investigators reviewed the Utah Valley University surveillance camera. While reviewing the surveillance camera, investigators observed an individual on the rooftop of the Lucy building at UVU campus at the time of the shooting. Hereafter, the unidentified individual will be referred to as suspect based on surveillance camera footage. Suspect appeared to be a white male with dark-colored hair, wearing dark-colored hat, sunglasses, a long-sleeve black shirt with a picture of an American flag, and an eagle printed on the shirt, dark-colored jeans and white-gray shoes with white-colored shoelaces. The shoes appeared to be consistent with Chuck Taylor Converse-style shoes. Suspect also carried a dark-colored backpack on his back. Suspect walks with a distinct gait. Prior to the shooting, suspect appeared to walk with a stiff right leg and relatively slow pace. Suspect's ability to bend his right leg appears to be... I gotta go over to the next one. Give me a second. So they're basically implying, which we've all knew, that they're basically implying that he had obviously the gun in his pants somewhere. So is that good? Okay, good. Up to the top. Investigators were able to track suspects moving on the UVU campus at approximately 11:50 on 9/10. Approximately 11:50 UVU for surveillance camera first captured suspect walking onto grassy area north of Campus Drive at approximately 800 West. 800 West. At approximately 800 so it looks like maybe 800 hours. Wait, Campus Drive at 800 West. Maybe that's a building number. Sorry. Suspect walked south through the parking lot and approached a pedestrian tunnel that ran underneath the Campus Drive. Before entering the tunnel, suspect paused at the top of the stairs and pulled out what appeared to be a cell phone from his right pocket using his right hand at approximately 11:53 hours. Suspect eventually put what appeared to be a cell phone back into his right pant pocket using his right hand. Surveillance captured suspect making his way toward the Lucy Center. At approximately 12:02 p.m., the suspect was recorded walking north on the north side of the Lucy, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I think I am. Lucy Center, or Lucy, I don't know, Center building, walking with the same gait as observed earlier. Suspect entered the Lucy building through a set of doors on the southeast corner of the Lucy Center building. At approximately, 13 minutes later, the suspect was observed walking up the stairs that led to a common area adjacent to the Lucy Center building. The suspect walked to a short concrete wall that separates the common area from the rooftop of the Lucy building. At approximately 2 minutes later, the suspect climbs over the short wall and appeared to crouch down on the north side of the wall on the rooftop. At approximately 12:22, so that was another 5 minutes later, the suspect stood up and started running across the rooftop of the Lucy building. The notable limp from the previous surveillance was absent. Suspect ran to the west side of the rooftop and appeared to scout along the rooftop area as he got closer to the edge of the rooftop. At approximately 12:22, suspect laid down in a position consistent with prone shooting position. Oh, hold on, let me find out where I'm at. Where did I go? Shoot, I lost my place. Approximately 23, stood up and the courtyard. The rooftop of the Lucy building overlooks the courtyard area where featuring Charlie Kirk was taking place. The Lucy Center building was east quarter of the area. At approximately 12:23, Charlie Kirk was shot. So, this seems very coordinated, almost as if he had dry runs. I mean, this is really, when you kind of hear the timing of it, it really kind of puts this stuff in perspective. I really think the bad guys, the one that put this kid up to it, wanted him to be, executed as a result of it. Because without, is like Thomas Crooks, they can't get anything out of him, right? They have a live perpetrator that's behind bars that now can talk about what happened. And it would behoove him to talk about what happened. Suspect ran to the northeast corner of the Lucy building and approached the edge of the rooftop. Suspect placed a dark-colored item on the rooftop and proceeded to lower himself off the rooftop. Suspect dropped off the rooftop into the grass below. Suspect ran north near the parking lot to the east of Lucy building at approximately 12:24. So he was able to get down those stairs and out the building within a minute. Suspect ran north across the campus road. Suspect appeared to be carrying an item whose identity is not clear from the surveillance camera. I believe it was a gun. I slowed it down for a few of my friends because they said they couldn't see the gun. I believe it was the gun. The area to the north, I never thought he took it apart. People are saying he took it apart and then put it back together in the woods. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I could see the gun in the photo. I don't believe he had it down his pants, but he could have had it down his pants after he jumped off the roof. Just my opinion, but I don't know that to be a fact. But you could definitely see something in his hand. So he ran across the across Campus Drive Road. Suspect appeared to be carrying an item whose identity was not clear from the surveillance. The area to the north of Campus Road where the suspect crossed is consistent with the grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Maher Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on the top. Investigators noted the inscription that it had been engraved on the casting found with the rifle. The inscription on the fired casing says, notices bulge, OWO, what's this? I don't know what all that means. Inscription on the 3 unfired casing read, "Hey, fascist, catch." The up arrow symbol, I think they said that that's nothing, but I know why they were looking for that, because it's a fascist something. And then one said Bellicio, COCO, which, again, to me, it seems like whatever people were going to visit him from out of state probably worked to do this. I don't know if he would have had the tools to be able to engrave it. We know that a printed gun was used for Mangione, and his also had engravings on it. So I do believe just by the engravings that this case here, Tyler and Louis Mangione, might be connected somehow. I can't remember if there was anything carved on what's his face's bullets, Thomas Crooks. I can't remember. I feel like there was, but I can't remember. Investigators also discover a shoe impression on the north corner roofed edge of the Lucy building. The shoe impression was located in the vicinity where the suspect climbed down from the rooftop. The shoe impression is consistent with the sole characteristic of a Converse Chuck Taylor shoe. On the evening of September 11th, 2025, a family member of Tyler Robinson's reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. The information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at UVU. The information was conveyed to the FBI investigators reviewing additional footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving at UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:30 on September 10th. So he was there at 8:30. He scoped out the place. Sounds like he was there for at least 3 hours. It looks like 2.5 to 3.5 hours before the event started. That gave him plenty of time to set up and do whatever he needed to do, or do a dry run, change clothes, check out the campus, look at the area. But I just don't believe that he would have made all those decisions right then and there. In which he observed on video in plain maroon t-shirt, light colored shoes, black hat, white logo, light colored shoes, when encountered by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, early morning. Robinson was observed. Go up here. On video, okay, we got that. On the early morning hours, Robinson was observed inconsistent clothing with the surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated Robinson had been more political in recent years. The family referenced a recent incident which Robinson came to dinner prior to September, and in conversation, and then we're going over to the last one. And in conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading spreading hate. The family members also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified the individual of the roommate. Investigators interviewed the roommate, who stated his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. So it sounds like he's even, the roommate's actually playing games, knowing damn well that this was not a joke on Discord. He was a homicidal maniac. I believe his boyfriend knew it. Lance Twigg. It sounds like his boyfriend knew it and kept his mouth shut and let people die. So Lance, I hope you make peace with God, because that's something that's going to send you straight to hell in your afterlife, sir. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it up, showed several messages to investigators, and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. 3 photos consisted of various messages, including context of messages between the phone contact Tyler and an email icon, the Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point. They wouldn't have said drop point unless there was a drop point. Drop point is, in my opinion, reference to some sort of involvement. And why would his boyfriend, you remember, anti-fascist, don't like guns, right? Why would anybody want guns in their house when they're anti-gun and want to strip the entire United States of their gun rights? Unless they're just trying to strip us of our gun rights to take over our country. Just that makes more sense than stripping of our gun rights. Because it doesn't seem like any Democrat really has a problem with guns. I mean, that's the first thing they run to after they try to tell us we need to disarm, right? You even heard in my video this morning about them saying they need to start getting guns, right? They need to start getting out in the streets, right? That's some scary messaging. Do you think that's what's going to get us to put our guns down? Or stop using them? Or give them up? Hell to the nah. We realize how important it is for us to have our firearms now, especially when you hear the likes of Jasmine Crockett telling people to grab arms. That chick don't want to come to Florida. We crazy over here. We're not as nice as the people in Texas. We're just not. The messages also refer to engraving bullets. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? That is a direct before the fact accessory. So at least, it sounds to me, at least the boyfriend, unless he's got an immunity deal, it sounds like the boyfriend's going to be arrested. And he's most likely going to be charged with murder, in my opinion. He was right there with him. There's messages between them referencing engraving bullets. We got some problems here. And a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Where did that unique rifle come from? Where did the bullets come from? Remember, we just learned that there was a bunch of people going in and out of their house from different states. Antifa should be designated a terrorist organization. And anybody that's associated with that designated terror organization should be picked up and thrown in jail until we get to the bottom of what is going on. Because there is a lot of crimes, conspiracy, RICO, money laundering, most likely drug laundering, drug sales, whatever. There is a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here. You got to fund this stuff, okay? How are you going to fund this stuff? Well, you ain't going to a job for 9 to 5 to fund this kind of crazy shit. This is your full-time job. So where's the money coming from? Where's the money coming from? Where did the bullets come from? Where did the firearm come from? Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned he had changed outfits. It sounds like there was an entire communication about every play-by-play from him. Who needed to know that information? Who needed to know it? Based on the evidence detailed in this statement, I believe there is probable cause that Tyler Robinson committed the crimes of aggravated murder by shooting Charlie Kirk in a circumstance that put many around him at grave risk of death. Felony discharge of a firearm, the obstruction of justice for moving and hiding the rifle believed to be used in the shooting. By submitting this affidavit, I declare under criminal penalty. Now, I hope that they increase those charges. That seems like they've got a lot of room here to increase those charges, from my knowledge, from the knowledge that we've done on this show many times. It seems like there's more here, folks. It really does. It really does. Strategic Eyes, what up? We haven't talked. Oh, you guys didn't see it. It's I gotta bring it on up. Oh, it's a
now. A few things are developing in this case that made me want to...
My big head's in the way. I was like, where is he? I don't see him on my screen. It's because my big head's in the way. I'm covering up Strategic Eyes. I'm being rude. If you guys know anything, Strategic Eyes, I like Strategic Eyes. I think he's just a normal person. You know, just having people on social media that are normal is just a breath of fresh air, okay? And so he's a normal person. He's a detective. And he, much like, again, Fat and Opinionated, he has some things that he wants. He wants the truth out too. I love truth seekers. I love truth seekers. I'm a Islamophobe. It's hard not to be. Nobody. It's because it doesn't align with our way of life, a Western civilization way of life. It just doesn't. And so they use that against us because we don't like it. I don't care. You call me whatever you need to call me. I still don't like it. I don't want to see people dressed in all black from head to toe doing exercises in my country that look like they're getting ready to go to war. Okay? I don't like it. I think all of them need to leave. And if they're so unhappy here with our Western civilization, nothing's forcing them to stay here. I think it's time for them to go home. You know that thing where you kind of overstay your welcome at your family's house or your friend's house? I think all the illegals occupying the United States has overstayed their welcome. And I'm sorry if you don't like that. It's not my problem. Okay? Your feelings are not my problem. You know what is my problem? The crime rate. You know what is my problem? The babies that are being AR'd and SA'd. That's my problem. I could give two shits about a name badge. If you needed to call me racist, I don't care as long as it gets the shit out of this frickin' country. You do whatever you need to do, boo-boo, right? That's where I'm at. I don't care about the names. I care about the action. You can call names while I'm doing action all around you. You know what? At the end of the day, I'm going to be more successful because while you're sitting there calling names, I'm getting shit done. That's all there is to it. And I want to make sure you guys understand, there are a lot of different Bettys out there, okay? They go by a lot of different names, but they're all doing the same things. And we will be successful because while everybody's sitting there with their head in the sand, bitching and calling people names and writing messages, we're in front of the decision makers getting shit done. And that's the truth. The decision makers. Don't waste your time with people that can't change your situation. You go to the people that can. And that's what we're doing. We're taking it right to the people that can make decisions.
To do a late night live and reach out to you guys and share this information. A reputable news source has made contact with family members of Twigs. And they're giving their insight into Twigs, okay? Lance Twiggs, or Luna Twiggs, which is the name that she prefers to be called after transitioning. Once again, here on True Crime and Strategic, I don't know what any of your beliefs are. That's your business. We don't judge people here. We do call people by the pronouns they want to be called.
That's the only place, like I said, Charlie Kirk's a better Christian than me. Strategic Eyes is a better human being than me. I'll own it. Because when you killed somebody that I know, I do everything I can to disrespect you. Okay? If you guys haven't noticed, if you're not offended at least once in a lifetime of being with the Bullhorn Betty channel, I'm not doing my job. But I will absolutely be disrespectful. I am planning on being disrespectful. What? Aw, thank you, Saved by Grace. Saved by Grace says, at Mr. E, much love to you and your family. God bless. Hugs and prayers for Middle E. Amen. Everybody, it is Sunday. And the last time I checked, everybody could use extra prayers. And especially when we have family, true crime family that's struggling or, you know, has some weight on their shoulders. We all have weight on our shoulders, but certainly we have time to give at least one more prayer. So please consider that. But that's the one thing I won't do. So we're going to continue to call him Lance, okay? Because I truly believe he's a part of this. And sorry, but yeah, until we clear you, brother, we're going to still keep calling you Lance.
And by the names they prefer to be called. But at the same...
But just to let you know, I'm going out of my way to make sure I am very disrespectful to criminals, right? I don't play their game. I want to let them know I don't respect them. That's just me. I want to make sure everybody understands. And now if this was somebody that had pronouns and that was on my channel that chose to be that, was respectful and everything, of course I would be very respectful in that regard. But this person doesn't deserve my respect. A lot of people don't deserve my respect. I'm telling you, I'm holding great restraint on some of the things I would love to say. But it's because I'm hurt. It's because I'm angry. And sometimes we say things, even though at that moment we mean them, they're still lashing out, and it's still being absolutely out of character, right? And people do get out of character, especially when they have a lot of pain and emotion on their shoulders. But when you identify that, you know, it's your responsibility to own it as well. And you have to take certain steps to keep that in check. You know, that's what normal people do. I'm hurt, I'm angry, and I don't want to lash out. So there's a lot of things that I'd like to say that in the here and now that I am having with great restraint right now. So I'm just letting you guys know, because it could have been a lot of bumpier ride than what we're on right now.
Same time, I am a human being and I don't live in that lifestyle. So if I make a mistake, it's just a mistake. But my heart is always in the right place. But please don't get offended if we're calling people by their pronouns, which I believe is the right thing to do, and by the names that they want to be called. I believe that that's the right thing to do, okay?
And I love people doing the right thing.
Said, everything that
I love people doing the right thing. You guys know that. That's why I like him. I disagree, right? But he, at the end of the day, he's taking a high road. He's a better person than Bullhorn Betty.
Going to read is, first of all, it is a reported news story, so we're not spreading rumors or whatever. We're reporting the news, but the news story that's being reported is still the opinion of these family members who are making the comments. Lastly, before we move forward, because we're going to do a deep dive into Twiggs. I'm sorry, Twiggs is a part of this. Twiggs received the text messages.
I think everybody is in agreement. All right? We do this true crime thing quite a bit, right? Sorry, Strategic, I'm covering up your face again. I don't like covering up his face. I like, you know me with the eyeballs. Like, he's talking to you. I want you guys to see his damn eyeballs, and my eyeballs are in the way. I guess I could move my eyeballs over out of the way, couldn't I? There we go. All right, there, we'll do it that way. So, I think we're all in agreement that the boyfriend was involved, okay? Without a doubt. Now, we also know that there was people at the house, according to the neighbors, scary-looking people. So we know that that's the team. Now we need to know who the team is and who's funding the team. We don't have that yet. But what we do have, we have Lance Twigg, or Twiggs. And so that's really where we're diving into. If you guys get any information on either Tyler Robinson or Lance Twigg, please send that to Bullhorn Betty at your earliest convenience. Bullhorn Betty, okay? So let's keep moving on with this one. I think we go up to about 7 or 8 minutes. We definitely don't watch the whole hour. We would never have the time to watch the whole hour. I stop this every few minutes and discuss what's said.
We're unsure as to when those text messages were received.
That's
Were
true.
they received before?
That's
I think
true.
I heard they were received afterwards, but if they were received afterwards, what was the action that was taken after they was received afterwards? Did Twiggs immediately call law enforcement and notify them that, hey, I just got text messages from my lover basically saying that they did something horrible? Or did Twiggs keep that information and share it with somebody else? Because from my understanding from the reporting we did earlier, Twiggs contacted a friend and told that friend about what happened. And guess what? Neither Twiggs nor that friend went to law enforcement. Law enforcement came to Twiggs. That's my understanding.
Yep.
Now you have some people like, oh, this person's a hero.
Now, first of all, I wanted, and I'm going to say this, and I know that this is not a popular viewpoint. You know, I'm not all about the popular viewpoints. I'm not even about the clicks and the views. I'm going to say what I'm going to say on my platform. That's just it. But I'm not giving even the father. I feel bad for the whole family. I feel bad for what their son put them through. But they knew it was their son. As soon as that paper and everything, you know, the photo of the person that did this was released, they knew immediately it was their son. They had a duty at that moment to call. Now, I was wrong. We believed that he lived with his mom and dad. We're hearing that he had an apartment with his lover, which is his boyfriend. You know, this is 2025. People are allowed to have boyfriends, okay? We don't look at which is the craziest thing with the Democrat Party and the freaking mind cancer that they have over there. Like, just because we don't agree with it and we don't want it for our life, it doesn't mean we hate people that do stuff. The only thing we want is we want you to leave your hands off the children, right? And it seems like it seems reasonable and seems like common sense just to leave the kids alone. But the problem is they're not, and they're destroying these children. And you see the damage that they're doing. I mean, just look at our country right now. All from 20-somethings. We've been talking about it for years, the angry 20-somethings. Why is it always the angry 20-somethings? Why is it always these kids that have problems with their sexual identity? We've said it on here. Well, now it's festered to this point because none of us took it seriously. So now here we are. Now we're forced to take it seriously. Now we're forced to have those conversations nobody wants to have. I bet you here, if we had something about Chris or Katie or something, we'd have 1,000 people in here. But because it's about the assassination of one of the greatest people in our time, people are fly by night. That should tell you all you need to know. Are you here to end crime? Are you here to just be here for the entertainment of it? Maybe you need to start looking a little deeper inside. Maybe you need to look a little deeper inside. Because what I'm seeing is that people are so freaking evil. They're deranged and demented and don't even know it. Like, they don't even know it's wrong not to celebrate the death of a human being. That's how fucked up they are. And I'm going to say it like that, excuse me, on a Sunday. But I don't know what other word to use. Because it's the truth.
We don't know if they're a hero. Because they might be a hero. We want to give them their flowers. We absolutely want to give them their flowers.
Amen.
But the evidence so far shows that they cooperated after the FBI came knocking on their door.
Bingo.
Most people are going to cooperate when the FBI come knocking on your door because you know what the FBI can do to you. The feds have a 90% conviction rate. They can send you to jail for all eternity. So when they came knocking on the door,
you don't mess around.
Allegedly, that's when Twigg started cooperating. That is not exactly, to me, the actions of a hero. But I could be wrong, and if I am, we will make corrections.
No, he's not a hero. He was, the reports find out that he seems to be more radicalized than Tyler. So that leaves me to believe, who radicalized Tyler? Well, it had to have been Lance. I guarantee they were doing substances, they were doing, I guarantee there was a lot more going on here. I think they need to do a hair sample. I love hair samples. He's got long enough hair. You can kind of get a good idea of what, I think hair sample, I think that should be part of their testing. That once you commit a felony, they get your DNA. Why aren't they getting hair samples and checking for your drug intake? That drug intake and the statistics that can come off of those hair samples, not just the saliva, really could help, with a different set of statistics that we need for the future. But we haven't gotten there yet. Will it be required? I hope it is at some point that they start taking hair and doing substance tests, because we could find out, certain substances or antibodies are causing different brain problems, or, you just never know what you never know until you start studying it. And they haven't started pulling that. If you committed a felony, they automatically now in most states get a DNA swab and run you through different databases to see if you committed any other felonies in any other jurisdictions, or what have you. But they never take the hair follicle or the hair length, because every little section can give you a new profile, and you can find out if somebody's using substances. Is it fogging their head, or are they making these plans while they're majorly effed up? You don't know, but you got to start asking this day and age, because once upon a time we didn't have all these drugs in our country. We had marijuana, some pills, some coke. I mean, you had stuff, but nothing that you're just going to go, and die. That's the crap they're selling now, right? It's a toss of the coin what you get, whether you're going to survive it or not. It wasn't like that back in the day. We were free. Like, we got down a little bit. Well, none of us, I don't know, until the pills and the H started coming around, the opes, I never heard of anybody dying from the crap we were doing. They'd get in car wrecks. When we did, one of our friends in high school lost their life because one of my other friends was driving a car while under the influence of alcohol. Another one of my friends in high school, he's been, he was a drunk back in high school, and he just got worse, and he ended up killing, he was saved in one DUI accident. Just 10 years later, almost to the day, he ends up killing himself in a single car accident. So, we had death. We dealt with death, but not like we're dealing with it now. We weren't dealing with it like hundreds of thousands, I remember there was one weekend here in Manatee County, and I want to say like 100 people died. That was pure poison, okay? I think that year it was the worst it had been. I think that all in all, it was 250,000 people that died that year all over our country. Don't tell me that wasn't an attack. You cannot convince me. And you know what the Democrat Party did? Keep coming. Keep coming. You haven't killed all the opposition yet. Oh, you're not killing them fast enough. Let me start pumping some illegals in here. Let's start giving them driver's licenses and, that, so we can at least get our votes, right? The drugs ain't killing them fast enough. Now we've got, whatever, they sniff up your nose. That's the way I feel. That's the way I feel. Okay, we just got a few more minutes. I'm moving on from this.
But until then, Twiggs is an integral part of this case.
I agree.
And I got to adjust this mic. And we need to do a deep dive into this, okay? So I'm going to adjust it when I start playing a video or something like that. Before we get started, I want to thank everybody who's joined us today. Welcome to the chat. We appreciate you. We have over 300 people watching us right now with 104 likes. I'm going to ask for two things. Number one, please hit that like button so
listen to them. That goes for my channel too.
We could get into the algorithm and we could be shown to a wider audience. And number two, we're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year. And right now we have less than 2,000 subscribers to reach our goal.
If you guys haven't been over there, get over there.
If you are not subscribed to this channel and you're watching us right now, we would really appreciate if you hit that subscription button.
And he's worth it. He's worth it. He's an actual detective that's active detective. I have to say that because most of, we have a lot of retired cops on here that talk about their stuff. He's active, SUV or SVU type of detective. He deals with S crimes and those types of things. So it's a guy, it's a tough job, but he lays it out there. He gives you his opinion and what, would be most likely going. I like his stuff. And he's just even keel. He's him and that fat and opinionated guy. We all have the same, I feel like, ideals, at least moral compass, but we all three explain things a lot different.
And join our family. All right, so now,
great.
first of all, we'll start off with, what are you going to start with? We're not even going to start with Twigg's TikTok. We'll start with the article. Wisconsin right now.
That's it. That's it. All we're going to get to for that. Because I know when it got to the article, I was done. Sidebar, I think there's just a few things. The first... Okay, it's going to be like the first 4 minutes.
Down in real time. He hasn't been... The arrest of Tyler James Robinson, the 22-year-old, who is suspected of killing Charlie Kirk. Now, what do I have in my hands on? I have an affidavit of probable cause. I have an order from a judge denying him bail, and then a public safety assessment report. I'm going to break all of this down in real time. He hasn't been officially charged yet, but this is what he has been booked on. I want to bring on trial attorney Rich Schoenstein, who's going to break this down with me in real time. So we're both looking at this. Rich, good to see you. By the way, great background. Is that real or is that AI? I mean, it looks like a really
no. This is my real brother's real house in Columbus, Ohio.
It looks good. Looks good. Okay, so what I want to do first is go into this affidavit of probable cause, which led to his arrest. He is charged, and we'll break down these charges. He is going to be charged, or at least he's been booked right now, on aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, obstruction of justice, capital first-degree felony conduct.
Right here.
Before we go any further, Rich, so basically... This is what he could be charged with. This is what prosecutors could be seeking. It could be modified in some way, but...
There's a backpack, and I think the rifle is kind of all together. Let me get back to that scene.
Any further, Rich? So basically...
I think that's what he's pulling down. It's like he's got... I don't know where... I think he's got his backpack on, but I think whatever he's got there, if it's a bag or something, but that's the gun. He didn't have time to break down the gun. I can tell you that.
This is what he could be charged with. This is what prosecutors could be seeking. It could be modified in some way, but at this point, this seems to fall in line with what the allegations are.
Right. I mean, basically, the charges here are murder, illegal discharge of a firearm in public where he did it, and obstruction of justice, which I think means flight. And as you say, there are other possible crimes that might or might not be added later.
And so let me read through this whole probable cause statement. And it says, I believe there is probable cause to charge the defendant with these charges. And I believe this is from an arresting officer, although I'll see at the end. Brian Davis, officer's name. This is in the county of Utah, state of Utah. Okay. I believe there is probable cause to charge the defendant with these charges because the following information was obtained by your affiant from police officers, multiple video recordings posted on social media websites, Utah Valley University campus surveillance cameras, and those who witnessed the incident.
So we have a lot. I think he's just reading this stuff. I didn't know if I was going to read his stuff, the stuff that At Night put out, or Nick the Hat put out. This is another one. Again, it's like I said.
God, Charlie Kirk was a man of God.
I am definitely bringing you guys people's opinions because I think people need to hear the world. Because if you've got ugly in your heart, you need to know that's not cool, okay? We reject that kind of crap on all sides of the aisle. So if you have that ugliness in your heart, you need to look inward and find out why. It is not normal for anyone to want someone dead over their speech. It's not normal. So if you applauded, if you were thankful, if you were happy, there's something that is broken inside of you. Because that man was somebody's father. No matter how you look at it, that out of everything we discuss on this channel, it's the importance of family. And when you have a good dad in children's lives, they took that man away from a wife and his 2 young children in front of them. Anybody that cheered that on, you need to look inside of you because that is not normal. I'm telling you it's not normal. The world is telling you that is not normal. We have over 1,000 people losing their jobs. Their careers are over. Over. This, it's not okay. Hate like this is not okay. To hate somebody, there's a difference between, and I think this came from Josh the Lab. I saw it on a post. There's a difference between hate speech and speech you hate. Hate speech is talking about, color of the skin, ethnicity, religion, and hating somebody and talking hate toward that person. Hate. Not that you don't agree on ideals or ideology or even a moral compass. It's pure hate, kind of like what we've been seeing from one side of the aisle. It's not lethal to have. I say things on this channel many people don't like. It's to provoke conversation and thought. That's what we do. It's what we do. I say a lot of outlandish stuff to provoke responses. It's part of my strategy. Do I deserve to be executed because of it? The sad part is some people do believe that. Some people on this very platform tried to put that very bullet in my head by proxy. It's not normal and it's not okay. So I'm not going to call anybody out. I don't know where your heart is. Only you and your God knows where your heart is. But if you were happy in any way, then you need to look inside. Because I tell you, we covered the congressman and woman that was murdered in Minneapolis. What was it, Minneapolis? I'm pretty sure it was Minneapolis. Did you hear us celebrate? We covered that case like any other case. We didn't care that they were, and we knew they were Democrat politicians. We never celebrated. We were mortified and condemned violence because that's what normal people do. Do I like them? No. Do I think they ruined this country? Yes. Did I celebrate? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why? Because we're normal. Fox is reporting new video of Tyler hours prior to unaliving Charles. I haven't viewed it yet. Yeah, it's on the outside of the buildings. Yeah, I've got it. It's not anything that's producing. I mean, it gives you some timing, gives you something to look at, but it doesn't really identify anything other than he didn't have his gun. We couldn't see a gun on him, and he was in different clothes. But here, I want you guys to listen to this because, again, just more of this is not okay.
Baby, I don't know what God y'all serve, but my God doesn't preach hate.
Girl, it's one thing to be biblically illiterate. It's another thing to be biblically illiterate and willfully ignorant and try to make up the rules as you go. People think that if it doesn't feel good, it must not be love, it must be hate. Not everything is hateful, okay? Truth is not hateful. It really pisses me off when people don't know the Bible at all, and the only verse that they can reference is love thy neighbor as thyself, and they want to forget about all the other verses. Charlie Kirk was not hateful. He was truthful, and it hurts your feelings because you want to do what you want. You think that God sent his only son to die on a cross for your sins so that you could repent and have eternal life, so that you could live your life being willy-nilly and doing what you want with no righteousness and lawlessness, and God's gonna be sitting there like, go Bessie, it's okay. We're called to be righteous. We're called to hate sin. If you guys want to go and do what you want with your life and expect everybody to stand around and applaud as if there's no standard. No, there is a standard. And you know what's so funny too? People love to reference the golden rule. Treat others how you want to be treated, but they forget the verse right after that. And I'm going to read it to you. Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction. The wide gate that is easy leads to destruction, and those who enter by it are many. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life, and those who enter by it are few. Okay? Charlie entered through the narrow gate. You guys are mad Because truth requires you to enter through the narrow gate, and you're not ready to do that. You're not ready to give up the ways of the world. So it's easier for you to say that everything else is hateful, but it's not. Charlie spoke the truth. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, not the way that you want to go and everything else has to conform to it. Do with that information what you will, but please stop distorting the Bible to fit your beliefs. You change your life to fit the Bible's word, not the other way.
You change your life to fit the Bible's word, not the other way around. Very, 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 very good. More. Because I think you guys need to all see this. It's kind of hard to hate somebody that's so human, that was so kind, so pure. And I want people to really understand what was taken from this world. Because this man brought so many people to God. Do you understand that there was one girl, she had piercings all over her, she was heavy set, rainbow color in her hair, no direction, hated God, and she worked with Charlie. He just talked to her and listened. The color's gone out of her hair. She's now a mom of 2 kids. Her whole entire life changed. She was lost before meeting Charlie, and she was truly found, and literally is going from a complete living in complete hell to living her best life. Not this person. This is another story. This man walked the walk and talked the talk. I want people to humanize Charlie Kirk, because I don't think people understand how truly amazing and gifted he was. He never spoke hate. He spoke the Bible. The blessed Bible. He wanted to have conservative conversations with liberals and people on the left to see where the difference in ideology is, because he always believed people were provided a distorted truth, and if everybody just came to the table and spoke out their differences, that there would be a path forward to a much better place. And he was literally doing that. If you guys could hear the story of him, I hope you guys, take the time to learn who Charlie is. We'll be learning more about him as the weeks and months go by.
Charlie Kirk was my friend. In 2017, I hopped on a flight to Dallas, Texas all by myself to attend the Young Women's Leadership Summit hosted by Turning Point USA. I didn't know anybody. I got on that plane, a broken down, depressed, and silenced person. At this conference, I met Charlie Kirk. These conferences were small enough that Charlie used to walk around with the attendees and get to know us. He was so kind and inspiring. I returned from that conference a changed person. And I went home to Utah Valley University, and started a Turning Point USA club. 2 years later, in March of 2019, Charlie came to Utah Valley University, and I, along with an underground chapter at BYU, hosted him. I introduced Charlie. He was so kind. A lot of his employees are Latter-day Saints. And so he was asking all of us where we served our missions. He was excited to talk about Jesus with us. He actually ate a salad from Chick-fil-A. I still have the video of my introduction to Charlie. And at the end of it, when he joined me on stage, I went in to shake his hand. And instead he gave me a hug so that he could tell me, "Thank you, great job." He was assassinated in cold blood at my school yesterday. Right after he said kind and defensive comments about my people, Latter-day Saints, when so many on the Christian right are not kind to us. 4 years after my event at UVU, I was working for another conservative organization, and I was attending one of his conferences. I saw Charlie in the backstage, and I went up to him and I said, "I don't know if you remember me, but..." And he interjected and he said, "Of course I remember you." You are Sarah from Utah Valley University. I hear about all the great things you're doing now. Thank you for all you do for us. The man was good. He was kind. He loved and cared about people. He debated the free exchange of ideas. Amen. He stood for free speech, even speech he didn't agree with. He gave me my start. He gave me my voice. All the adventures I had in my 20s, all the incredible things I've done are thanks to Charlie Kirk. Please join me in praying for his wife. Latter-day Saints, please put them on your temple roll. Erica Kirk. Thank you, Charlie, for changing my life and being my friend.
I don't think anybody understands how wonderful of a person he is and how he changed the lives of so many people across this country and across this world. Young lives, beautiful lives. He touched people. There's a reason why I broke down here and cried when I found out he was hit. It's because he's special. He was special. I don't know how to explain it to people here or across the world, but he was a gift to this world. And I'm sorry you guys didn't have an opportunity to meet him, because I guarantee he would have liked a lot of you. He would have prayed over a lot of you. And the actions...
I wanted to come on here and talk about...
And the actions of some people on these platforms are harming young youth. This is displayed for our young youth on these platforms that are seeing all these adults act like boneheads and just straight up evil people. And they're putting it on full display for our next generation. I wonder what our next generation has to say.
The death of someone I looked up to, Charlie Kirk. And I wanted to say that it's disrespectful how people are making Fortnite memes and talking bad about him like he was a horrible person. All he did was have boldness in his faith with Jesus Christ. Like, you guys are so mean to people just because they have beliefs. We, as Christians, we respect you for your beliefs, but we tell you what's wrong and what's right, righteously. But you do not need to be making fun of him because a tragedy has happened. That's all I want to come on here to say is it's blatantly rude and disrespectful to be talking about someone's death like he's just a piece of trash. He has a family, he has kids, he has a wife. You guys would want someone to respect you if you got shot, right? If you passed away, you would not want anyone to be talking bad about you. And I saw a video, I saw someone making fun of his wife too. Like, that's just horrible and rude. And today is a very special day to me because I hit 14,000 followers, but I don't even want to celebrate that because I just feel guilty that someone I looked up to passed away, and I'm still able to be on this earth. That's how grateful you have to be. So just stop making fun of him and just go. Like, just stop making fun of him. It's not even funny at all.
So that's our next youth. And our next youth has more common sense because of their connection with Charlie Kirk than half of the adults on these platforms. This is the young youth. This is who this is all being played for. And I can tell you, based upon his passion and love for our Lord and Savior, I'm sure he's going to be on the right path. I'm pretty sure he's going to be on a very, very good path. And I'm pretty sure he's going to keep his buddy Charlie Kirk right there by his side as he walks through his path. I love seeing good things. I love seeing good people. So after Kirk's death, Trump Jr. falsely claims trans peoples do more danger than Al-Qaeda. I'm sorry. I don't have transphobia, but I can see clearly what is going on in the world around me. And I don't really care what people say. When you see it, you see it. Okay? We're kind of in true crime. We don't really deny the facts, you know? There's definitely something going on in this particular facet of our government and politics, and it's lethal, and it's being protected. And it's being protected by who? The Democrats. How do we know that? Because they're all supporting Democrat policies. They're all contributing to Democrat policies and Act Blue. And they're saying the talking points of the Democrat Party: fascist, racist, homophobe, xenophobe, whatever the case, just whatever it is. Always trying to classify us with that bullshit, right? So now that we know that, and I will tell you right now, I am trying to push for Antifa, and I'm not sure how far I'm going to go, but I am pushing for Antifa to be classified as a terrorist, a domestic terrorist organization. I think we're close to getting that done, but it hasn't been finalized yet. We'll see. But I'm hopeful that we just get those flagged as terrorist organizations. Then we'll be able to handle it. At that point, then I don't really care what the states have to say. The military can move into that area, and that's what I want. I want the military of this government handling this stuff from here on out. I do not trust these the governors. I do not trust. I'm done. We're American citizens, and I understand that there are some people out there that just don't want to believe. Hey, that's okay, because thank God there are people like me all over this country that worry about you when you're too ignorant to worry about yourself. And one day you will thank us. And I don't care if it's now, I don't care if it's later, but I know it'll be one day. How do I know that? Because there is no way that people think that this crazy twilight zone we've been living in, we're going to continue to live in it. Radical Zizian, vegan, trans cult, and shooting death. Oh, this is not it. This was something else I was working on. I think this was one of our stories about, this was the beginning of this. I missed this one. It doesn't go with the flow right now. It was going to be up front. And this should be the second article. Okay, I probably shouldn't have done that because I'm looking into the transgender terrorist organization and seeing what we had, and that first one was because we're not hearing about these attacks. We're not hearing about any of these things going on because they're transgender people, and our news have been keeping it out of the spotlight. But this isn't the only people that have been getting killed by these trans terrorist type of organizations, these transgender organizations. A lot of people have been attacked and killed by this very toxic organization. And that has all been held. The first one that you just seen that I just exited, that was from January 2025. None of us even knew that it took place. This one here, which is a little more in detail, this one also, nobody ever heard about this case. My question is why? Why are we not learning about this ZIZ, whatever ZIZ stands for? We have these transgender organizations that wreak havoc. So this one right there is linked to 5 killings across the nation. Never heard about those, did we? Never heard about those. And this was updated on February 17th, 2025. All these cases were new. Suspect leader of a trans terror cult known as Zizians, that's why I had the other one, and whose group is linked to at least 5 killings across the country, including last month's fatal shooting of a border agent, and was arrested in Maryland. These people are no good. These are the people the Democrat Party is protecting. So I'm sorry, if you're a part of the party of hate and quite frankly, fascism, you guys are saying you're the anti-fascists, and here we have fascism in your own party and nobody wants to denounce it. It's like, okay, boys will be boys. We're not doing that again. This has been a problem that's been hidden from our country, from our public. We had no idea that these transgender organizations are going out there and slaughtering people. 5 people dead just from these 6 people above. Never ever made it on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Never made it on the Bullhorn Betty channel.
Thank you for your time. I know you heard that report by Matt Gutman and this latest reporting in the New York Times that some of the suspects and response to the shooting this week. Governor, it has been a horrific week. We thank you for your time. I know you heard that report by Matt Gutman and this latest reporting in the New York Times that some of the suspects' acquaintances were allegedly talking to him online and joking and thought they recognized him from those early photos. Can you tell us anything about that this morning or anything further on the investigation?
Well, all we can confirm is that those conversations definitely were happening, and they did not believe it was actually him. It was all joking until he admitted that it actually was him.
And anything new on the investigation? You say he admitted that, confessed?
No, not again. He is not confessed to authorities. He is not.
So we just learned new information. He confessed to his father. His father turned him in. Now we're hearing that he had some communications on this app, whatever, in a group chat, most likely on Discord, that Discord said that they had nothing to do with. So he's obviously having these things, and he admitted to the people in the chat it was him. But that's not the point. There were people that knew that Charlie was going to be executed. Knew. Started posting around that he was going to be, that something big was going to happen. They knew. They knew. And we're hearing that people with out-of-state plates were showing up, moving in and out of his apartment with his boyfriend, Lance Twiggs. Okay. It's starting to paint a picture. Starting to paint a picture that more people are involved. Who were the people with the out-of-state license plates? Those are the people that are the problems. Those are the people that are the problems.
Cooperating, but all the people around him were cooperating, and I think that's very important. There were reports yesterday that we can confirm that
he keeps saying everybody around him is properly, is cooperating. Well, somebody put him up to this. Who was it? We had a lot of people that seemed to know that that Charlie Kirk was going to be executed, and you cannot tell me it's from baseless ha he joking in a chat. They are definitely missing a lot of information. I like them to continue to talk. They have to give us the insignificant stuff, and we have to kind of work through the stuff that they don't want to tell us.
That his roommate was indeed a boyfriend who is transitioning from male to female. That's information that the FBI had mentioned yesterday.
Oh yeah, and on all the people saying that we're all transphobic, that we jumped right to the trans argument. Well, I'm sorry, once again, it is leading right to that. Okay, I don't need people telling me that it's this way or that way. 90% of the time we're going to get it right. Why? Because trans are violent. Period. I said it. The trans community is overly violent. Does that mean every single person that's transitioning is overly violent? No. But they definitely have a problem in their community that they're not addressing. They should be self-policing. If they know they have this, they need to start using some public shaming and exiling of people that talk and act like this, but they're not doing it. So guess what? If you don't want to open your mouth and you want people to keep dying because you got a violent group of people, well, then we're going to keep condemning those violent groups of people, and we're going to combine all of you into it. And until you guys get sick and tired of being painted with a broad brush, maybe you can learn to self-police or start turning people in. So don't come here telling Bullhorn Betty's a homophobe. I'm very welcoming, but I don't like murderers, okay? I don't like violent people. Period. So you can call me whatever you want. Guess what? No matter what you call me, I'm still not going to like violent people or want murderers around me. So until they start self-policing and start doing what's right by the communities that they're in, instead of acting like little babies that didn't get their way, oh my God, they don't want to call me a woman, they don't want to call me a man. Well, you know what? That's a you problem, not a me problem. People call me all types of names. You don't see me picking up a gun and going hunting down children. Okay? So I don't want to hear it. Cry me a river and build me a bridge, and you know exactly what you can do to get over it. I like people kind of telling me like it is. I will never be a Benny Johnson. Well, maybe I'll aspire to be Benny Johnson one day. You know, nice, cool collective. You know, you saw him. He's been very, very strong for his friend Charlie. He really has. He's had to listen to a lot of stuff and keep himself composed. And you know damn well with my pop mouth, I'd have been like, you know, throat deep down their throat, right? I don't play like that. I'm a different person. I'm very abrasive. It's just my shtick, you know? It's just my shtick. And that's just how I roll. People can handle it, some people can't. I'm an acquired taste. I never denied it. Never denied it. Oh. So this is something else. I don't know what this is. This is, I guess, his bedroom. I don't know why I got that. Maybe it had to have been something in writing. I would never just gotten this. As a former associate, oh, here it is. As a former associate of Tyler, I don't know if I should speak out, but I feel I have to. Let me show you how he really was. It is both more simple and more complex than you think. More simple and more complex. So he's just, yeah, that didn't make sense. Maybe it was because of the statement that was made. Ooh, what's the name of it? Pudgenet. I went to Matt Wallace to see if he had anything. And he did, but I can't remember what it was. Is this it? People still don't understand. You thought Charlie's movement was big before. Yeah, that's another thing. Turning Points has received over 33,000 inquiries in 48 hours to start new chapters. I couldn't be more pleased than that, ever. And guys, we're wrapping up the show. And this man right here, because I can't say sometimes what I feel. Even as outspoken as I am, I still worry, even though I tell you I don't, I still worry about stepping on some of my people's toes here. You know, because I love you guys, right? And I know some of you guys are, you know, are nuts. I know some of you guys aren't nuts. But I love y'all. Okay? Oh, that's what the thing said. You guys know you'd be so bored. Or what did the cup say? Why don't I have my cup? Life would be so boring without me. That's what the cup said, I think. And it's true. But I love you guys, right? Even when we have different things of opinions, we're here trying to fight for, you know, to end some of this stuff. So I do, you know, I do have when I do make statements, I consciously make them. Okay? And when they hurt you, I don't mean or intend to hurt you, but I do know I anticipate through our relationship together that I'm going to offend you. Thank you. Thank you, Grace. Grave Crime with Grace. Gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, please don't forget to tell Grave Crime with Grace. Thank you. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. So, but I'm going to let this guy rip. Because I got to be honest with you, he said everything I wanted to say it and said it exactly how I truly, truly, truly wanted to say it. And so I'm going to let him rip. It is a Sunday. And I know I got my good, gracious people up in the chat. So this is where you guys may want, he does cuss a lot. He's more of a sailor than old Betty here. Okay? I only had one F-bomb throughout this whole show. You're about... he got a few. Well, it's only a minute long clip, but I think there's like 5 F-bombs in there. We're going to need Jesus after we listen to him, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. I'm telling you, it's worth it. So I'm going to put him up on the big screen. Let me adjust this. Oops, did I do that? Aw. Okay. Let me adjust this. Now we're going to take it all the way to him. I want you guys to get the real up close and personal. Let's move it. Oh, yeah. Because he trust me, you're going to want to hear this. I'm telling you, I'm not lying. This man, when I heard this, I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And it's like, man, am I going to show this? Am I not going to show? That's why I put it at the end. I figured if I put it at the end, then, we could watch it if, I was going to make the decision. But I've made the decision. We're going to go ahead and play it. So, Sonia, you might want to turn those little tender ears down. I'll give you a 2-second head start on the prayers, okay? I'll give you a 2-second head start on the prayers because we're gonna need to all wash our ears after we done heard this. But I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's worth it. If I could say it other than, he says exactly what I felt when I watched this.
You think you can reason with these people when they're celebrating a fucking father's death? You think you can fucking convince those people to be decent? If you do, you deserve what the fuck you get. There are evil fucking people out here in the world, and it's time that everybody that is fucking of common sense unite together against it. We are being played against each other fucking all day long. Black, white, gay, straight, left, right, this, that. This is us versus fucking them, bro. And until fucking all of us figure that the fuck out, we're gonna continue to lose. We're gonna continue to get our asses beat. You're gonna continue to see things like this happen over and over and over again. You're not virtuous by tolerating, you're fucking cowardly. Let's get that fucking straight. You are not virtuous by tolerating it because your aunt or your cousin or your fucking somebody else shames you into it. That makes you a fucking bitch, bro. I want to live and let live too, but live and let live only works when both parties consent to it. When you live and let live and the other people don't want to let you live, you're a fucking idiot.
Sorry, said what I said. Said what I said. And of course, we'll be going out hearing some Benny Johnson. Let me get that fixed. Now I gotta fix it again. That'd burn it. That'd burn it. But I'm telling you, he spoke to me on this Sunday. I saw it today. I saw it this morning, and I figured I'd go to church and decide if I was gonna put it up here. I was making some decisions. But you know what? He said everything, and that's the truth. That's why I started out with it before I let you guys know that he said it exactly. Like, sometimes I just want to say it like that, but I do worry about people in here. But I need to shake some sense into people, because a lot of people think that this is normal in politics. I've been doing politics for well over a decade. None of what I've been seeing here is normal, okay? Nothing I see here is normal. I love the law for a really, really long time. I watched all the lawyer videos, Matlock, all the detective videos. I always wanted to be a criminal detective, all the juicy cases, and that was my aspiration. But at the end of the day, I've loved the law. I've loved the law. What I've seen, from 2019 on, it's not normal, folks. What we're living in right now is not normal. This is not normal political stuff. This is something a lot more ugly and a lot more scary than I've ever seen. And I mean that. So please be careful. Be vigilant. Truly, if you do see something, say something. Before we go out with Benny, I know there was 2 birthdays in here. We had a few birthdays in here, but Melinda, Robin, myself, we all got birthdays coming up. So I wanted to sing happy birthday. I said if we had time this afternoon, I'd give you guys my Brando version. Let's clean out the voice. Hold on. I told you I'd find the hat and the goofy glasses. Hold on. Why does my camera just keep going? My stuff is a little hot here. No, stay there. Stay there, Delilah. Don't get up yet. We're not ready. Not ready. We're not ready. Don't tell me I don't love you guys. I do the most ridiculous crap to make your days. I just want to let you know that because I love you. I haven't told you lately I love you. Happy birthday. Tanya, to you too. Okay. Well, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Belinda, Robin, and Tanya, and of course, Boo and Betty. Happy birthday to you. All right. There you go. There you go. All right. Now I can't see to find my glasses. Now I can't see to find my glasses. Can I see? Oh, there you guys are. Hey! Sorry, I didn't know anybody was listening to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. So now we're literally at the end of the show. I don't know how long we've been on. I had an entire show planned for you, and I figured we're going to get through it. By God, we're going to get through it. So, let's get going. Let's get going. I got my food here. Let me move the food out of the way so I can move the mouse so I can get it playing.
Kirk's killing, a political assassination by every letter and measure in Utah just a few days ago. We know who the Charlie Kirk killer is, and we also know who the Butler assassin was. He's dead, and he's not. This is Tyler Robinson, and this is Thomas Matthew Crooks. There are eerie and chilling similarities between these two shootings, and we must discuss them.
I don't want to, you know what? I think we need, oops, you guys, I cut this off. I think we need to, I think if we stop at these two, I think we have a problem. Because I think the CEO was part of this. I really do. I think the CEO was a part of all this. The bullets were engraved. Like, I think this is people. I think these are serial unalivers using these by proxies to carry out their crime. I really do. There's too much we're talking about these because these are polarizing political figures. But don't tell me it's not an anti-fascist movement to go gun down a CEO of an insurance company, right? They had a fake gun printed. The bullets were engraved. The bullets were engraved. This one, it has bullets engraved. Does Crook's bullets does anybody remember whether Crook's bullets were engraved or not? I think we need to be talking to Leo, whatever his name, Mangione. Luigi Mangione. We need to be talking to him because I think he was plucked much like these two were plucked. BlackRock, I will believe it. CIA operatives, yeah. Like I said, there's alphabet soups. I would have never believed some of the stuff that I have the privy of now knowing if it weren't for an ex-CIA person that I know. Okay, so that's why whenever I started talking about the alphabet soup, we were talking about some of this stuff. I can't remember what case it was on. Maybe it was on the military. It might have been a discussion we had on the Minnesota congressman and woman that was gunned down by Tim Walz's ex-employee. I'm going to keep throwing that out there because they keep saying the man's freaking a Trump supporter. And he may have been at one time, but there is no way when that man committed those crimes was he a Trump supporter. He was just let go from Tim Walz's campaign. He's a Tim Walz employee that went and gunned down these two people. Oh, excuse me. It just happened to be an ex-employee. And went directly against Tim Walz. And then boom, both of those people were gone. Sounds like it was a hit. I really do believe that because you know what? If you look at all the banter just recently, Tim Walz knew something big was coming. He even said it in one of his campaign speeches. How did he know? Who's pulling these strings? Who's pulling these strings? We have Tim Walz at a podium in front of a mic saying that he knows something is going to happen soon. We cannot act like that's just banter. He was convinced of it, he believed it, and he told his people. They knew what they were doing. It was only a matter of time before somebody on this side got hurt, and they were praying to God it was somebody that mattered. And it was. But it wasn't somebody that was going to help their cause. Actually, it just put a frickin' nuke right in the Democrat Party and blew up on them. Because there are thousands walking away. Nobody can deal with it anymore. They are truly the party of death and destruction. They truly are the fascists. They truly want the world domination, not us. They did the whole shell game with their party. Look over there, so you're not looking over here. Much like the hate channels on these platforms. Pretty interesting that everybody seems to have this same playbook. The same Democrat playbook. I hope Nick the Hat's paying attention because I think that a lot of the stuff that we're watching going on right now might help him, might help Joseph Lesniak, might help me, might help Dog. Right? Because we're going to watch how this works out, and we know that this has been, we've seen this before, not to this disgusting and depraved level. But let's make no mistake, we have seen this playbook before very close to home. Very close to home. I'm pretty sure I put this in the video earlier. But
because it can't happen again. It can't. It must not.
I like how he says, it must not.
Something is clearly connecting these two. Mm-hmm. And something's being kept from us. And I am angry about it.
So he knows. Now, mind you, I will tell you that Dan Bongino, as well as Kash Patel, honor their commitment to this country above all else. So I don't ever anticipate them leaking or violating their code of trust at all. But just remember, Benny's also friends with them as well. Okay? So I think if there are going to be things that are released, they would tell Benny what they're allowed to release. So if Benny's not releasing it, Matt's not releasing it, Ben's not releasing it, or Candace, and Candace is pissed, then it's probably not, probably either wasn't said or something that can't be said.
The feds are not giving us the full picture. We know virtually nothing about Matthew Thomas Crooks. We know very, very little about Tyler Robinson. Seemingly, both of these young men, both of them 22 years old, had zero digital footprint.
Zero.
No text messages, no group chats, no ability for us to see.
And I want to put this out there. Thomas Crooks. Remember, we just learned that there was a bunch of people going to Tyler's home. Tyler Crooks, he met people in D.C. We have identified where he was somewhere in a particular square. We can't figure out whether he was meeting with somebody from the FBI or somebody from the CIA. But he was in the area where both of those buildings are near. So it was in a general area. So it's my belief that he met somebody there. He met somebody from our federal government. I truly believe that with Crooks, but we've never heard that. We will never hear that. But he did a lot of weird stuff. All of a sudden, he started taking walks alone at night. And much like Tyler, Tyler lived with his girlfriend or boyfriend. Tyler lived with his boyfriend without his parents. Crooks lived with his parents. So I think the way he was able to meet with these operatives was leaving that home and going for those weird walks that he would just disappear for an hour or two at a time. And then now we see Tyler having some weird people showing up at his house 2 weeks before this was carried out. So this was planned, absolutely planned. It was planned, in my opinion, more than 2 weeks out, because they would have started planning online. And then as it started approaching to the day, they would come here and start providing support for him, making him feel like everything's going to be okay. They'll be there for him, because that's what it takes. We're going to be there for you, right? And then find out that they all took to the wind. But he saw them. Tyler sees these people, whether he knows their names or not. They were in his neighborhood. That means that they were probably on a lot of different traffic cameras in and around that area. We're going to find them. I heard that there's 6 people currently, and that may have gone up, but I heard there's 6 people actively being investigated right now as a result to the communications that they had with Tyler. We'll see what is brought out about that. But if you'd like to see the rest of this, please go and check that out. I dropped the video, I think, yesterday. I hope everybody is prepared for whatever's going to come next. I don't know what's going to come next. But unless the Democrat Party settle down, like, they have no reason to be pissed. They should be absolutely grieving right along with us, but they are not, because they knew what they were doing. They didn't care about Charlie. They don't care about us. They have no humanity left in them. They're freaking zombie monsters that just want us. And they don't even want us. They just want our property and our money. That's it. That's it. So if you guys want to just, support the Democrat Party, this is the best thing I can tell you to do. Sign your property over to them and give them your bank account, because that's truly what they're after. And if you're unwilling to do that, why in the world would you put another vote next to their name? All right, guys, God bless you. I hope everybody is doing well. Have an amazing Sunday. We're going to continue to cover this case. We're going to start getting some more factual information in the days and months ahead. We have a lot of work to do. I don't want this drowning out other missing children or missing persons or other active investigations. But this is going to be the story of our lifetime. This is going to be the story of our lifetime right here. I want to know what happened. And I want to make sure it never happens again. And I'm asking everybody that is pure and honest out there, that wants a better country and is sick of all this violence, you guys know what you have to do. You know what you have to do. You have to vote differently. Our country can no longer sustain this violence and this theft of our taxpayer money for nothing other than the liveliness of these assholes that don't deserve it, called our politicians and that the people out in Hollywood that are giving us crap, but they want to steal our money through all these nonprofits. They're laundering the crap out of our money here in the government. Okay? I'm tired. I'm tired. So I'm hoping that you guys are tired too, but I need your help. And right now, this is the battle cry. It's putting an end to all of this insanity. Making sure our criminals stay behind bars and are not a threat to the American people. It seems like only one side has been making sure that we're constantly under attack by villains and drugs. And I can guarantee you that is not coming from my side of the aisle. I will always be on the right side of history. I will always, always, always be on the right side of history. This is wrong. This has been wrong. People have laid down and accepted it and accepted and accepted. How many more people have to die? How many? Because 500,000 on this fit wasn't enough for some of these people. Never mind about all the black on black crime in the inner cities that are slaughtering the black community. You want to talk about fascism and oppression? I could go on for days. It's time for people to pull their heads out of their behinds and start going to those ballot boxes. I don't care if you don't like politics. You're definitely never going to have a choice whether you like politics when you don't have a choice. You better start realizing you've got a choice today. Tomorrow, that might not be promised. Remember that. Tomorrow, that may be stripped from you. Oh, it'll never be stripped from me, Betty. We live in America. Well, you know what? We did go through the COVID. I can tell you what they did to us during COVID was absolutely 100% unconstitutional, but we were still in our homes. It still didn't stop them from forcing us in our homes, closing our businesses, stealing more money from us under the guise of it's for our health. We have health freedom in the United States. They cannot force health care on us in the United States. So who gives a rat's ass whether we were out there or not? Oh, because we were going to kill grandma. Another idiot brainwashing you guys. Do you guys realize what brainwashing is? It's when you have to sit home and repeatedly hear about how many people are dying. You know what I did? I got out of my car and went to every single hospital on the west coast of Florida. Guess what? Not one of those blessed hospitals were busting out of the seams with COVID patients. What they were doing is they weren't putting their staff on. They cut their staff in half, which means they can't open all their beds. So that means that when they have a 400-person hospital and they have XYZ staff, they're only allowed to have XYZ rooms open. And they were taking those rooms, those little bit of rooms, which were already staffed with people that were just dying normally, you know, just old age type stuff, in ICU from wrecks and other things, and they were saying, oh my gosh, we have no beds. People, you guys have no idea. You know how I know that? Because I did my homework. Because I help provide funds to Manatee County Hospital here, right? They have to come to the county and put their hand out and say, may I please? And then they have to deal with activists like me saying, it is not our responsibility to give you money. But we still give them money. That's how they were able to get away with that crap. You want to know why your hospitals weren't bursting out? I mean, look at what Donald Trump did. Donald Trump gave them a whole Navy ship. Do you guys remember that? It was such a horrible outbreak that the hospitals were full, so he sent a whole entire Navy ship out there. It's kind of funny, not one person was able to get on that Navy ship and I think 1 or 2 people were serviced on that Navy ship. It was an absolute colossal waste of taxpayer time and money for the smoke and mirrors. And if each and every one of you would have just gotten out of your house and did the same blessed thing, you'd be like, what is going on here? That's when I started questioning. You do not lie to me. You do not come to my county and lie to me. We were open. We were unmasked and we were open. Do you guys hear me? Through the entire COVID process, we were unmasked and opened. Because you know what? It took people like me to tell them, you better prove this to us before you shut our county down. And if you're not doing that in your community, you're already behind the 8 ball. You need somebody in there. Betty's not lying. Yeah. No, I'm not. I got no reason to lie. I mean, what do I have to lie to you for? If somebody did something, somebody did something. If somebody didn't do something, somebody didn't do something. Okay? If I'm wrong in my politics, I would tell you. Because I really don't care. An R doesn't make Bullhorn Betty. It's the conservative in me that makes Bullhorn Betty, but it's the R that's giving me the policies that I need to have that C. That's why I'm here. If it was the Democrat side that was giving me the policies I need to keep my C, I would be over there. Do you see how that works? Because it's about my morality, not my party. That's the difference. All right, guys, God bless. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, kind to one another. God bless, and we'll see you soon.